jaune. Faut pas déjà le prendre au marquage. Sinon j'allais le prendre.
It's a back five from right to left of Aina, Cunha, Murillo, Milenkovic and Williams. Two central holding midfielders in McAtee and Sangare. Ndoye and Gibbs-White will support Jesus up top. Leeds go with the aforementioned Trafford in goal. It's also a back five for them with Bogle, Beale, another new signing in Murahemovic, Rodon and Justin at the back. It's Stack and Ampadu, the holding midfielders, and then Aronson and Wilson will support Calvert-Lewin up top. Join us shortly for kick-off. Premier League football returns to the City Ground as Nottingham Forest host Leeds United in this 3 p.m. kick-off. New boss Oliver Glasner names his first starting 11 for the Tricky Trees. Expectations will be high, given he won 3 trophies in just under 2.5 years at Selhurst Park. None of the new signings are in the starting 11, only one of them in the squad. Javier Schlager is on the bench, a free agent from RB Leipzig. For Leeds, Trafford, the man whom Leeds broke their club record transfer fee for, he starts, as does free agent Wilson. I'll bring the full lineup in just a second, but starting with the home side, Nottingham Forest, it's Sells in goal. It's a back five from right to left of Aina, Cunha, Murillo, Milenkovic and Williams. Two central holding midfielders in McAtee and Sangare. Ndoye and Gibbs-White will support Jesus up top. Leeds go with the aforementioned Trafford in goal. It's also a back five for them with Bogle, Beale, another new signing in Murahemovic, Rodon and Justin at the back. It's Stack and Ampadu, the holding midfielders, and then Aronson and Wilson will support Calvert-Lewin up top. Join us shortly for kick-off. Premier League football returns to the City Ground as Nottingham Forest host Leeds United in this 3 p.m. kick-off. New boss Oliver Glasner names his first starting 11 for the Tricky Trees. Expectations will be high, given he won 3 trophies in just under 2.5 years at Selhurst Park. None of the new signings are in the starting 11, only one of them in the squad. Javier Schlager is on the bench, a free agent from RB Leipzig. For Leeds, Trafford, the man whom Leeds broke their club record transfer fee for, he starts, as does free agent Wilson. I'll bring you the full lineup in just a second, but starting with the home side, Nottingham Forest, it's Sells in goal. It's a back five from right to left of Aina, Cunha, Murillo, Milenkovic and Williams. Two central holding midfielders in McAtee and Sangare, and Doy and Gibbs-White will support Jesus up top. Leeds go with the aforementioned Trafford in goal. It's also a back five for them with Bogle, Beal, another new signing in Murahemovic, Rodon and Justin at the back. It's Stack and Ampadu, the holding midfielders, and then Aronson and Wilson will support Calvert-Lewin up top. Join us shortly for kickoff. Premier League football returns to the City Ground as Nottingham Forest host Leeds United in this 3 p.m. kickoff. New boss Oliver Glasner names his first starting 11 for the Tricky Trees. Expectations will be high, given he won 3 trophies in just under 2.5 years at Selhurst Park. None of the new signings are in the starting 11, only one of them in the squad. Javier Schlager is on the bench, a free agent from RB Leipzig. For Leeds, Trafford, the man whom Leeds broke their club record transfer fee for, he starts, as does free agent Wilson. I'll bring you the full lineup in just a second, but starting with the home side, Nottingham Forest, it's Sells in goal. It's a back five from right to left of Aina, Cunha, Murillo, Milenkovic and Williams. Two central holding midfielders in McAtee and Sangare, and Doy and Gibbs-White will support Jesus up top. Leeds go with the aforementioned Trafford in goal. It's also a back five for them with Bogle, Beal, another new signing in Murahemovic, Rodon and Justin at the back. It's Stack and Ampadu, the holding midfielders, and then Aronson and Wilson will support Calvert-Lewin up top. Join us shortly for kickoff. Premier League football returns to the City Ground as Nottingham Forest host Leeds United in this 3 p.m. kickoff. New boss Oliver Glasner. And it's a warm welcome along to this off-tube independent studio-based commentary and our coverage of this Premier League game. The Premier League season is underway. These two sides, 3 o'clock kickoff this afternoon. Nottingham Forest hosting Leeds United. Oliver Glasner, his first game in charge of his new club, won 3 trophies in just under 2.5 years at Selhurst Park with Crystal Palace, but it's a tough test to turn around a side that struggled, battled and flirted with relegation last season, and they've a tough test early on here as Leeds get a shot off early, deflected though, comfortably saved in the end by Matt Sells, but an early side to there for Anton Stack for Leeds United. Leeds manager Daniel Farke, his 4th season in charge, naming his starting 11 for the 4th consecutive season, and in each of those 4 Ethan Ampadu has featured. He does so again this afternoon. I'll bring you the full lineups in just a second as Leeds United in possession. They go from right to left in this opening 45 minutes. It's the away strip for them, so it's the yellow shirt, yellow socks and the dark shorts. Nottingham Forest in the familiar red and white, going from left to right. It's myself, Tom Wilson, joined by Josh Makin for this one. First game of the Premier League season for these two sides. Pretty similar campaigns really last season, Josh, in the sense that Leeds finished 2 places above Nottingham Forest. Both flirted with relegation for a little while. Leeds get to the semi-final of the FA Cup. Forest got to the semi-final of the Europa League. Maybe a little bit more chaotic for Forest than it was for Leeds, but I think both sides will be looking for maybe a mid-table finish, you'd say, this season?
Yeah, I think both of these two teams have got such reasonable cause for optimism going into this campaign. Neither are going to be affected by European football, so they will just be able to focus on the Premier League, and I think they both could be in for fantastic seasons. Forest, I think the appointment of Oliver Glasner makes sense. Fantastic at Crystal Palace. What he managed to do, managed to get them trophies, which is what I imagine the owner wants. He's a very ambitious and demanding owner. And some of the signings they've got have reflected that as well. Diamande not involved in this game, but really do like that signing and it's a settled team as well. They've kept all the best players still, obviously, other than Elliot Anderson. Like St Morgan Gibbs-White still there, that's big for them. So it's going to be interesting to see how Glasnet gets hold of this side. As for Leeds, again, another side that I tipped to have a really good season. Just came up the season before, managed to stay up pretty comfortably in the end, and they've only strengthened from last season, lost none of their main players. Pascal Shark's gone, but Leeds fans will tell you that Tariq Mohamed is going to be an upgrade on him at the back. James Trafford sorting out a position in goalkeeper that they've needed to do for quite a while. Obviously Harry Wilson had a fantastic campaign with Fulham as well, so they look really strong going into this campaign, and yeah, definitely can see them both pushing up towards mid-table.
Yeah, Josh mentioned some of the new signings for Leeds. None of the new signings for Forest are in the starting 11, only one of them on the bench. Xavier Schlager signed from RB Leipzig as a free agent. An early throw though here for Forest. Ola Aina with a long run up, he'll launch it into the area from his arms in towards the 6-yard box. It's flicked away by Dominic Calvert-Lewin back there defending, but a foul by Milenkovic means it will be a free kick to Leeds. Anyway, 3.5 minutes into the game, Forest 0, Leeds 0, and an opportunity to bring you the lineups for Oliver Glasner. Then his first starting 11 in the Premier League sees Matt Sells in goal, a back five from right to left of Aina, Cunha, Murillo, Milenkovic and Williams. Two central midfielders in Sangare and McAtee, and Doy and Gibbs-White further forward supporting Igor Jesus. Leeds go with Trafford in goal, the club record signing for Leeds United, as he launches the ball forward. His back five in front of him is Bogle, Beale, Mirahemovic, one of the new signings, Rodon and Justin. Stack and Ampadu, the holding midfielders. Aronson, who's just signed a new contract, as has Rodon as well as Jaden Bogle. And then Wilson, one of the other new signings, one of three in the starting 11 for Leeds this afternoon, supporting Calvert-Lewin up top. Leeds looking for an early corner, not given by the referee, Rob Jones it is, who's the man with the whistle today. As Forest take the goal kick short, out towards the left-hand side. Murillo flicks one forward towards halfway, and Doy was batting for it, but Mirahemovic just got there in front. Sorry, no, it was Beale who just got there in front of him. Ball out of play for a Forest throw on the far side. As it's actually a Leeds throw, apologies, into the chest of Wilson. He goes round the corner and then gets the ball off Yaka Beale. Here is Wilson, a deep position towards Justin at left back, then back towards a central position inside their own territory now for Yaka Beale. Puts his foot on the ball, slows things down. Leeds United switching, of course, from a back four to a back five in December last season. They picked up the 7th most points of anyone in the Premier League following that formation change, as it's dinked forward by Beale, looking for Calvert-Lewin. Ampadu with a header, picked up though by McAtee. Now Sangare, he's given the ball away. Calvert-Lewin's got it, just off the toes of Sangare. Now Justin forward, Ampadu round the corner, Stack towards the far side for Bogle, supported by Rodon. Here is Rodon, it's just behind him, just showed too much there to Murillo. A little bit of confusion as Wilson takes over into the area. Again, it's too close for Matt Sells. It's a really good start from Leeds United.
Yeah, positive, isn't it, from Leeds United? They played it last season and they lost 3-1. It was a poor performance from them, and it was just right before they started to change the formation and get on that great run of form. But they have started positively at the City Ground this afternoon. First instance as well we've seen of Joe Rodon maybe making that overlapping run, maybe an underlapping run actually there on Jaden Bogle in pre-season. He was actually sort of doing that sort of new role for Daniel Farke. Interesting to see if it actually works. Managed to get an assist from it in the game against RB Leipzig for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and didn't quite work out there, just got it stuck under his feet. Wilson took it on and did well with it, but ultimately no one at the near post for Leeds.
Forest in possession, the tricky trees forward towards halfway. 6.5 minutes gone, still 0-0. Beale with the header over the top of Stack, who felt he was fouled by Dan Doy. Ampadu collects it. Now here's Beale once again, goes backwards under pressure from Gibbs-White, who's Josh says stays at the City Ground despite interest from elsewhere. Elliot Anderson subject to much interest and eventually moved on. Over £100 million for his services from Manchester City, a replacement for Roderick. Big shoes to fill as Gibbs-White commits a foul on Ethan Ampadu. That'll be a free kick to Leeds just inside their own half. Two other games kicking off at 3 p.m. in the Premier League. Everton versus Crystal Palace and Ipswich versus Sunderland. They're both still 0-0, but there has been 2 goals in the Championship. Wolves, of course, relegated from the Premier League last season. They're in front away from home against Preston. Charlton also winning away from home. Somewhat of a local London derby as they lead by a goal to nil away against West Ham United. Lopez the goal scorer for Wolves, Jones the goal scorer for Charlton, another free kick, and Leeds have made things tricky for the tricky trees early on.
Yeah, they have. That's brilliant there from Jaden Bogle, just moving in from the right hand side. Fantastic footwork, and he's drawn the foul from Sangari as well, which Rob Jones spotted immediately. So this is the first set piece chance now for Harry Wilson. Maybe, probably is too far out to have a shot, even though I'm sure he'd definitely fancy it, but still another good chance for Leeds. Yeah,
Wilson, the only man in contention to take this one. It's going to be an in-swinger from a centre-right position. Biol and Mihajlovic up there from the back. Wilson takes it quickly towards a back stick, flicked away by Murillo. Danger not fully averted as Wilson heads it backwards. He has to go towards halfway now though for Bogle, and pressure has just slowly dissipated. Touches at the feet of James Trafford, signed from Manchester City. Touted, highly touted as the next England #1 when Jordan Pickford is maybe no longer required in that position, as Dominic Calvert-Lewin can't keep the ball in play. That will be a Forest throw on the far side, about midway into their own territory. 8.5 minutes gone. Forest in possession. Brendan Aronson puts the pressure on. Here is Ola Aina forward from his weak boot. It's a poor pass picked off easily by Ampadu. Now here's Aronson, Justin. Ampadu once more. Great pressure from Leeds early on. They do look the better of the two sides in the opening 10 minutes. Forest not really settled just yet. The home side feeling a little bit of pressure. It's a very familiar looking Forest lineup, but I imagine, Josh, there will be very subtle differences in the way they play under Glasner compared to, well, I was going to name the previous manager, Vitor Pereira, but of course, you take your pick. They had 4 last season, so there'll certainly be a bedding in period, won't there?
Yeah, there certainly will, and I think the owner has just got to be patient this season. They can't afford to do what they did last season when they were just sacking managers left, right and centre. It's not allowed the team to settle, and that's why they're involved in that relegation battle for so long in the end. They've got to give Glasner time. They've got to let him, help bed his philosophy, his ideas, and the new signings to come in as well, as you mentioned. I think it's just the one new player, isn't it, that's involved with the squad this afternoon for Nottingham Forest. So help them all get to know each other even more than they already do under the new manager. It should be a good season.
Ball forward again. They've given it away there, Forest. They're really struggling to get out from their own defensive third and their own half in the opening 10 minutes of the game. There's an offside there from Leeds, which might just give Forest a little bit of respite. Still 0-0. Dominic Calvert-Lewin was called offside there, of course, snubbed by Thomas Tuchel for his England selection. Did feature in one game in the lead up in the final of the 2 international friendlies ahead of Thomas Tuchel's World Cup selection. Here's Ola Aina, nods it into the feet of McAtee. He goes around the corner towards halfway, and a little bit better here for Nottingham Forest, albeit still inside the middle third of the pitch. Here's Cunha. Cuts a tall figure at the back there with Milenkovic. Murillo, the shortest of the 3 centre-halves for Forest, but certainly plenty of bite about him. Here is Aina, just forced backwards. Good pressure again from Leeds. It's Aronson and Justin who are leading the charge as Calvert-Lewin puts the pressure on Styles, and he has to take a risky touch, and he's got away with one there, just moving it ever so slightly away from the path of Calvert-Lewin. A slip there from Ampadu, looked a bit of a risky one. Leeds able to flick the ball away and out for a throw. Not exactly a first test for Matt Sells. Didn't have a save to make there, but he's been put under some real pressure. He's done well in the end.
Yeah, it's not a great pass back, is it, at all from Cunha? And Dominic Calvert-Lewin scored a similar goal against Brighton Hove Albion right at the end of last season when Van Eckert passed the ball back towards his goalkeeper, and Calvert-Lewin was right on there. It's in an identical position then, but fortunately for Forest, the pass has just got about enough weight on it to make its way through to Matt Sells. And it's some good feet from the Belgian, takes Calvert-Lewin away, sort of out of the press. It's a good bit of moment from Sells, but you won't appreciate that from Cunha.
12 minutes gone, Forest 0, Leeds 0. You're listening to Off-Tube Independent Studio-based commentary. Leeds have won it inside opposition territory once again. That ball over the top though, looking for Wilson, is overhit. And just go through to the feet of Matt Sells. There's been another goal in the Championship by many people's opinions. Middlesbrough maybe the best team in the league this season, or one of at least. They're in front away at Blackburn, a 2-1 victory for Middlesbrough to kick off the campaign, and they're in front again this afternoon. Here's Aronson on the left-hand side for Leeds, put under pressure here by Cunha. Cunha's won it back, but Justin has regained possession. He's able to switch play in towards Wilson, flick round the corner nicely from the former Fulham man. May prove to be one of the smartest bits of business in the summer, if he can find the form that he had for Fulham last season. Here is Mirahemovic, Bosnian international, who was at the heart of the one of the scandals of the World Cup. He was the man that was fouled, which led to that red card, which was eventually overturned by Gianni Infantino, or suspended by Gianni Infantino. It was actually he who Balogun collided with for that red card. I don't think that had anything to do with Leeds' recruitment process, but it's a fact nonetheless. Here's Biol, the centre, the three central defenders for Leeds. Just thinks one forward looking for Bogle, flicked away. Picked up though by Anton Stack on the edge of the area, slides to keep possession, tries to find Justin. Strong challenge comes in between Cunha and Ampadu, falls for Aina on the right hand side. He tries to make something down the right flank. Forest reacting maybe a little bit better in the last few minutes. It was a slow start. I think they're not quite second to everything as they were maybe in the opening 10 minutes.
No, they were. They're just getting getting more of a grip now with Leeds, aren't they? Sort of establishing their foothold in the game. Leeds dominating possession in the early stages of the match. Had a few little half chances, nothing more than that. And now Forest have sort of got on the ball a little bit more, just knocking a few passes around the defence. That's always going to help them out. We're starting to get a little bit scrappy as well in the middle. A few challenges going in from both teams. Leeds have just won a free kick there after Stack was brought down on the halfway line. But yeah, shaping up nicely.
Stack, another who maybe could have featured for his country at the World Cup, just picked up an injury at the wrong time. He was sort of in and around a few Germany squads, had a couple of caps last season, but picked up an injury towards the end of the domestic campaign, which ultimately ruled him out. Couldn't get back to fitness quickly enough as Leeds continue to bring the ball forward. Quarter of an hour gone, Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 0. Here's Ampadu on halfway forward for Aronson. Just gets there in front of Sangari, finds Wilson. Aronson continues his run. Bogle tries to dink it forward to him. Just too much though on that one. It's over the top and out of play, and Sales will have a goal kick. Brendan Aronson, who, as I mentioned, one of 3 Leeds players to sign a new contract. He, Rodon and Bogle have committed their futures. And Brendan Aronson, who's had to go through a turbulent time at Ellen Road, joined the club, really struggled to nail down a starting place, but had a really good campaign, strong campaign last season. He's in the 11 this afternoon, of course. Not, I was going to say despite the new signings, but to accompany the new signings. Of course, Wilson hasn't usurped him in that position. They've just made room for him. We mentioned that none of the new Forest signings are in the starting 11 this afternoon. Only one on the bench. I imagine it's probably partly because Glasner probably wants a little bit more time to see them. Josh probably wants them to settle down in the country a little bit as well, I would imagine. But also, I think that it was such a chaotic time last season that he's probably grateful that he can pick 11 that have played together.
Yeah, he probably just wants a steady start to the season, doesn't he? He doesn't want the chaos of last campaign creeping in at all. He just wants this one to go by the book, and just allowing those new signings to have a little bit of a time to bed in can only do them good. It's a big change moving to the Premier League. It's so different, isn't it, to all the other sort of top leagues around Europe. The physicality, the pace about, we talk about it all the time. So it does take a while to get to grips with it. I think that's just smart from Glasgow, who has been here for some time now, knows how this league works.
Here's Ndoye on the right hand side. I think one thing to notice about the City ground, it looks like there's a lot more room on this near side where the technical dugouts are. I don't know if they've made the pitch a little bit smaller, maybe they've moved the pitch ever so slightly. If they have made it smaller, that'll play into the hands of, well, both these two sides in terms of long throws. Aina can supply them, which he is doing now, into the area from his hands, looking for Dan Ndoye. The head comes in. It's a first stop by James Trafford in the Leeds United goal. Down towards his left-hand side. Couldn't see who had contact on it. We'll get a replay, but here's Aronson breaking away for Leeds United. He tries to switch play. He's caught as he swings his right boot at it. Referee not interested in a foul. Forest are able to clear their lines. Here is Ola Aina on the right-hand side. Under pressure from Stack. He's wriggled away from him. Strong challenge comes in. It's a 50-50 between Aina and Justin. I think the latter's come off worse. I want to see a replay of that. I want to see a replay as well as who made contact inside the area to try and beat James Trafford. 17 minutes in, still 0-0. It's heating up a little bit.
Yeah, it certainly is. A few chaotic moments there. Ola Aina looks like he's going to go into the book for that challenge there. Justin got there just in front of him. Aina protests his innocence. We'll see the replay of it now. It's Aina who initially has control of the ball. Sort of goes back under a challenge from Stack, and then he sort of slides into it. It's a painful one on James Justin. It's fairly high as well. We'll see this replay now of the throw-in. Can't see who it is that's attacking it. It might have been Ndoye, as you were saying. Oh, here you go. Here's Zeus, sorry, actually, who gets up highest. But that's exactly what James Trafford has been signed for, isn't it, for Leeds, to make diving saves like that. The first of many, you feel, this season. I feel like at times Leeds have, in the last few seasons, just missed that goalkeeper that could have won them so many more points on their own. Of course, last season they had Luca Perry starting. That wasn't quite working out. They switched to Carl Dahler, who was a lot more solid, but obviously needed the likes of Trafford to come in. And we're going to actually go to a VAR check for that challenge from Aina. I mean, he is off the floor.
It's not the greatest angle that we've got here. I think he's helped Justin by the fact that his foot is really planted. It does get caught between the large thighs of Ola Aina. It's a bit of a cliche, but you've seen them given, but you've also seen them waved off. It's a yellow card for now. We'll wait and see. Elsewhere, just very briefly, goals in the Championship. Watford leading away against Wrexham. Southampton 1-0 up at home against Stoke. And Cardiff City, on their return to the Championship, have gone 1-0 up away from home against Derby County. 19 minutes in, Forest 0, Leeds 0. Just seen a replay of Daniel Farke's reaction to that foul. He was very frustrated. No red cards by the looks of it, so just a yellow for Ola Aina. You can understand that?
Yeah, I think you don't want to play the situation, but again, early on in the season, literally just 19 minutes into it, to see a red card there, I think Forest would have feel aggrieved. He's sort of off the floor. I think he's bordering on just about being a red, so he'll have to be careful with that one. Now, of course, on a yellow card, so Leeds will probably try and target that Nottingham Forest right flank going forward. I think Brendan Aronson, James Justin are going to have to really get all over the back of him and make it hard.
Yes.
James moved to the other side actually now, hasn't he?
Yeah, you're right. He's just shifted over towards the far side. Looks like, at least for the time being, Neco Williams has come across to this right back slot, and maybe they feel there's a little bit more of a threat down the Leeds left. I would argue that I think the stronger side is actually Leeds' right, but yeah, we'll wait and see if that sort of switch is permanent or whether it's just temporary. There's going to be a long throw for Leeds in the time being. Ethan Ampadu with the sun shining on his face. The pitch certainly is quite short, at least on that far side. Doesn't allow for much room for Ampadu to launch this one in towards the front post. It's flicked on towards the back post. It's still alive inside there. Still not cleared by Forest. Ball up into the sky and then into the ground behind Matt Sells' goal. It was Murillo who couldn't quite convincingly get a clear contact on the ball to get rid of it, and it's going to be a corner to Leeds United.
Yeah, he wasn't taking any chances, was he there, Murillo? That's what Leeds can do though with those long throw-ins. So many great aerial threats in the box. Jakobiol, Mihajlovic, who can actually score an overhead kick as well, as we saw in pre-season. Doesn't take any chances, but Wilson with this corner. In
swinger low, driven towards the front post. Not quite the contact he wanted as Leeds battled for it back, but it's sent forward by Nottingham Forest. It's a really good touch from Dan Ndoye. He's got away from his man. He's got a teammate in McAtee bursting through the centre. Can he find him? He's gone on his own there. It's maybe the wrong decision. Still alive as it comes into the area looking for McAtee, but that's too close to James Trafford. That's meat and drink, but a half chance on the break there for Forest.
Yeah, it certainly was. Great break, wasn't it, from the home side? And you're thinking that ball probably has to go towards McAtee a little bit earlier than it does. It's not the worst ball into the box in the end, but there's no one attacking it, and it's an easy one there for James Trafford just to pluck out of the sky. So a bit of a wasted chance for Forest. Almost looked like they just caught Leeds out for the time being. It's that man, isn't it? Nico Williams, fantastic player. Thought he was probably one of their best last season, Nico Williams, but just got off a little bit too long with the cross. Yeah,
Williams it was, not the aforementioned Dan Ndoye. Williams takes this throw to Dan Ndoye though, round the corner then to Sangare. And now here is Cunha, 22 minutes on the clock. Forest certainly growing into this one, much better than they were in the opening 10 minutes as McAtee plays it forward, intercepted though by Ampadu. And now Leeds will look to break with Aronson. He's got a couple to beat, just goes through the middle of them. Ampadu finding himself on the left wing at the moment, just pokes it down the line. I think he was hoping for a throw, but it doesn't quite get the deflection that he wanted. It's cleared away by Aina, who has returned to right back. As Stack loses out, Sangare has it. He looks forward, Stack chasing for the ball, and Sangare giving him the run around as Aina this time gives the ball away, but Leeds can't hold on to it once more. It's James Justin who is dispossessed. Has been an equaliser for Wrexham in the Championship at home against Watford. Danny Imre with his first goal for his new club. As we approach the halfway point in this first half. Here's Wilson's a man down for Forest as the referee wears play on. Ampadu's then caught right under the nose of Rob Jones. Will he give a free kick to Leeds or will he pull it back to Forest? I think he's done the former. Ampadu was heavily caught there by Murillo. Wilson's also down for Leeds. Gibbs White and Dan Ndoye in conversation with Rob Jones about the challenge that came just before that. Forest feeling that there should have been a free kick with Joe Rodon catching Morgan Gibbs White. Referee not interested. Forest nil, Leeds nil. A set piece opportunity then for Daniel Farker's side. He finished 14th last season. Comfortably away from relegation in the end as Rodon raises his left arm in the air. He'll swing his right boot at the ball in just a moment as the sun blazes down on the City ground. It's actually Stack, not Rodon. Rodon's further forward. Stack lofts one in. It's a low one. Cleared away by Cunha. Be chased down by Dan Ndoye. Can't keep it in, but does win himself a throw. We are halfway through the first half. And it's been a well-contested opening at 23.5 minutes, but I'll hand over to Josh to take you through to half-time.
Yeah, thank you very much, Tom. We finally had the first goal as well of the afternoon, or in the 3 p.m. kickoffs, I should say, in the Premier League. And what a day it's turning out to be for the new boys, the new promoted side. Ipswich Town taking the lead at Portman Road against Sunderland. It's a new signing as well, Emerson, who signed for a lot of money from League on the side Toulouse in the summer. He's already got his first goal in the Premier League. It's taken him 24 minutes to do so. Ipswich joining Hull City in good afternoons so far. They of course beat Manchester United 2-0 at the MKM Stadium in the early kick-off. Elsewhere in the Premier League, still goals between Everton and Crystal Palace. Of course, still waiting for the first goal of the afternoon at the City ground as well. Both sides have started this one decently though. Forest have had the real major chance so far. That header from Igor Jesus, well saved by James Trafford there as Justin, with a poor pass round the corner, doesn't catch it right and scuffs it out of play for a throw. And Forest have taken it and Leeds have won it back now. Stack over for Aronson, he loops it up looking for Calvert-Lewin. Milenkovic takes it away from him though. He's going to back himself into the corner. Calvert-Lewin can't afford to foul him, he doesn't, so Milenkovic clears it to the head of Mihajlovic. Stack brings it down and finds Ampadu. Nice ball out now towards Jayden Bogle. Bogle has Wilson up ahead of him, not really darting into much space, so has to turn back now, does the former Derby County man. I'm sure he'll receive a good old reception from the Forest supporters. Who actually scored in the 3-1 victory for Leeds at Ellen Road over Forest last season. Interesting as well, both sides won this home fixture 3-1 last campaign. That's nice play there from Leeds. Aronson being played through by Stack. Aronson still going. Bogle out wide in space. Bogle, first time ball across the face of goal, and it's into the back of the net. Leeds United take the lead at the City ground, and it's the new man as well, Harry Wilson, but it's not going to count. It's an offside flag up against the Welsh international, but Leeds might have to look for a VAR check. A good move from the Whites. Was it offside though?
Yeah, well, Wilson, I think he knew straight away that he was off. No celebration whatsoever, which you obviously wouldn't expect, would you? A new signing, first goal, you'd expect him to wheel away. The thing is, Calvert-Lewin is right behind him, who probably would make contact, but would he have been offside? I mean, it doesn't matter anyway, because Wilson's touched it. He did score, but it's not going to count. He is offside. They just carved them open there. They have done that on a few occasions, Leeds. They picked it up on this left and very, very quickly played it into the middle. It's then switched to the right-hand side, and they've found opportunity. We saw that Rodon's making those underlapping runs. It was Bogle, though, this time who picked it up. And it's a good ball into Wilson, but he is offside. It won't count. It's positive at least for Leeds United.
Yeah, it certainly is. Their new signing has found the back of a net, but he was in an offside position, and after a quick VAR check, they are going to be ready to get back underway with the game at the City ground. A little bit more animated now from Oliver Glasner as he barks instructions out at his side, but Matt Sells does have this free kick. A few more goals now going in the Championship as well. It's 1-1 between Derby and Cardiff. Southampton as well had taken the lead against Stoke City, but that goal has now been cancelled out by Galbraith for Stoke City after Laren got the opener for the Saints. Forest now moving forward with an attack of their own. Sangare towards McAtee. Hold up play there as well, and Forest have won themselves a set piece. It's the number 14, Dan Ndoye, who's gone down under the challenge from Ethan Ampadu. It's been a little bit stop-started with the free kicks in the opening 27 minutes. You can just see there Ampadu, who another one of those players to commit his future to Leeds United. Just making the foul there. This is in a good range for Forest, potential shooting chance.
It certainly is, yeah, and they've got a couple of suitors, haven't they?
from this sort of situation. I think it's maybe more of a crossing opportunity though, just as we see the ball sort of spotted. It's almost level with the byline. Gibbs White and Williams in conversation about how to make the most of this. I mean, Leeds are a big team, they're great from set pieces, but we've seen already that Igor Jesus won that header to force probably the best moment of the game, really, besides the offside disallowed goal from Leeds, forced that save from James Trafford, so I'm sure they'll be looking for him again.
Certainly will. Trafford just sorting out his wall though. In the meantime, Gibbs White and Williams standing over this one. Right-footed options. There's also Ndoye there for the left-footed chance as well. Rob Jones has now given the all-clear for this to be taken. Ndoye peels round the back. Williams runs over it, so Gibbs White delivers it high and looping to the back post. Mihajlovic has to deal with it. Justin, or Calvert-Lewin, sorry, then goes down. Leeds want a free kick. They're not going to get it though. Murillo's kept it in on this near side, across to McAtee. Ball will go into the box again. Bogle leaves it behind, and Ampadu with a header. Back in now by Aina. Mihajlovic again with a clearance. Roden helps it on its way. A volley will come in, and it's well wide of the target in the end. James Trafford not forced into a save. Gibbs White, not his finest strike.
Not the finest strike, no. I mean, they're always difficult to hit. It's just dropping right onto him on the volley at some real pace. You have to get it 100% right to even get it on target from that sort of situation. But that's better from Forest. They have been quiet in attack. Yes, they've had that one chance, that shot from the head of Igor Jesus, which forced a save from Trafford. But besides that, they've had little to shout about, really. And as mentioned, sort of opening 15 minutes, it looked a little bit shaky. They've had about 14 minutes or so since then, and they have looked a little bit better, but not really laid a glove on Leeds just yet.
Yeah, not too far. Not the greatest kick there from James Trafford as well. It's straight out of play for a throw-in. Did clear the halfway line though. Well inside it, Forest's half. So Aina takes it short towards McAtee. All the way back towards the goalkeeper Sells. Calvert-Lewin pressing him inside the box. Stack will also try and follow it up. Forest have got to be careful there because Leeds think they might have them, and Aronson has done well just to press them there. They have won a goal kick still of Forest after it came off the back of Aronson, but that's what he's all about, isn't it? The American, the running that he puts in, and he's for his team there.
Yeah, the ball back to Cunha was terrible. It really put them in a hole there, Forest. He didn't play it along the ground because he couldn't, because Dominic Calvert-Lewin was there potentially to get in the way, so he had to sort of dink it over Calvert-Lewin's leg, and it was sort of behind Cunha, so you could almost see that coming, that Leeds were going to get something from that. I mean, in the end it's just a goal kick, but the pressure continues on that back line of Forest. You wonder whether Leeds can keep it up for the whole game, but of course we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, certainly will. Trafford pass out towards Ampadu. That might go straight out of play there. Leeds themselves guilty, just as Forest almost played themselves into a hole. Ampadu with a ball back to his teammate, but he has put it out of play. Forest looked like they wanted to take that throw in quickly, but they've just been forced to settle for now as Leeds have got players back. Half an hour gone at the City ground. Still goals between Nottingham Forest and Leeds United. Towards the halfway line. Forest will go along now with this ball. Aina's made the run forward. He's won the header. Can Jesus get there to Beale? He can't. Might fall for Gibbs White. Jesus, I think, was in an offside position as he gathered that one up by the byline. Leeds have managed to let it go wide anyway for a goal kick. It might have even been Gibbs White who was waiting in the box. Good ball forward from Milenkovic, and Aina does well there. He gets the better of James Justin. Beale with the header. I think Jesus was just offside.
Yeah, it's much better again though from Forest, isn't it? Putting Leeds under pressure, just asking questions of them. I think any time that you can make the defender sort of turn around, anytime a centre half is facing his own goal, you're probably doing something right, or you're at least putting them under pressure. And a couple of occasions in the last few minutes where Leeds have had to do that. They just need a spell of possession themselves, you think, Leeds?
Yeah, much better kick out there from Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Sorry, not from Calvert-Lewin, from Trafford, that found the former Everton striker. He touched it down a bit heavy, and I think he's actually fouled McAtee as a result of it. McAtee is winning the ball off him. Calvert-Lewin following through. He's actually going to be shown a yellow card for that one as well. Is the Leeds striker a little bit harsh or justified?
Well, I was just thinking, if he shows Aina one, he kind of has to show Calvert-Lewin. It's a very similar challenge, maybe not as aggressive, but the lateness, the sort of placement on the foot where the contact is made is very, very similar. So, yeah, I can understand why he's gone into butt there.
Yeah, so the former Everton man, Leeds striker, it's pretty similar really. The foot is high. I think the studs are sort of showing down, which is why it's not given. In the meantime, though, Forest have had an attack there down the other end. Dan Ndoye getting to the byline. Good defending from Leeds. They've had to cover that one off. It was Joe Roden this time getting across to cover. It will be a set piece chance again for the Tricky Trees. I thought he'd gone out for a corner. It's actually a throw-in. So a chance for Ola Aina. If you remember earlier on in this first half, Forest's biggest chance so far came from a long throw where Igor Jesus met the throw-in of Aina. Can he do the same again as it's launched into the box? This time Leeds win the initial header. Back in though by Murillo. It's chaos in the box, but Milenkovic can't find a man in red with his header. It's into the hands of Trafford, who again wants to get Leeds going immediately on this counter-attack. There's no one showing short for the Manchester City Academy graduate. Side from, rolls it out towards Biol. Just looking at the stats so far, not many attempts so far in this game. 2 shots for Forest, 1 on target. Leeds have had 3 shots, but none on target. It does have that feel of a sort of season up now where both sides are not quite at their best just yet.
Yeah, I think, you know, Leeds with 3 new signings in the side, albeit only, you know, 2 outfielders. You know, they're just bedding in, they're getting to know each other. And as we've already mentioned, Forest with a new manager, a new style. Yes, it's the same 11 that Forest fans would have seen at plenty of occasions last season, but it's still something new to get used to. Neither side wants to make a mistake, neither wants to go behind. You want to get off on the front foot, a point, 3 points to sort of kickstart your season. There's the added, of course, sort of psychological thing to think about as well, is that the fact that these two play each other in 3 days' time in the EFL Cup as well. So, yeah, it's a bit of a slow start, but I'm sure we'll see better as the game goes on.
Yeah, Leeds might be better off actually just staying down in Nottingham for that cup tie only in 3 days. Doesn't feel like much point going back up to West Yorkshire. But, I'm sure they might do anyway. Stack there has committed a foul on McAtee just in the middle of the pack. Not happy about it is the German midfielder, but he'll have to set himself back in position again as Rob Jones has given the decision and Forest have got the game back underway quickly. What a flick that is from McAtee to find Gibbs White in the centre. He's up towards the edge of the box now, out wide towards Nico Williams, wants to get that right foot going, wants to move inside as well. It's a challenge from Leeds on the edge of the box, a good one as well from Ethan Ampadu, and he's actually won the free kick as well. Williams followed through with the challenge and Ampadu was inside a valuable free kick.
Yeah, Williams played himself into trouble there, didn't he? Cut in from that left-hand side. It was too easily read, just lost control of the ball, and when Ampadu flicks it away, you can see that contact coming a mile off. It's really good defending. You mentioned that flick from McAtee, it's brilliant. He's not always a first name on the team sheet, or at least he wasn't last season. Maybe he will be under Glasner this campaign, but you've always seen, whenever I've watched, there's a player in there. I think he just needs a run of games, he just needs a little bit of confidence, probably just needs an arm round him from a manager and just says, you know, go and enjoy football, play with a smile on your face. That was lovely from him.
Yeah, sounds for such a big fee as well, wasn't it? James McAtee. Of course, Oliver Glasner, I think he knows that he has the best way to get the best out of a man in the midfield for Forest. Again, ball played over the top there, but Leeds won't make anything of it. About 10 minutes left to go of this first half. Still goalless between these two sides. Leeds have only ever played Forest on the opening day once, and that was back in the 91-92 season. Won that game 1-0. Leeds fans will tell you what happened at the end of that season as well. They went on to win the last ever First Division title. So the ball goes forward from Sells. Jesus with a header down, and they can get Forest going. Space in the middle now for Ndoye to drive into. There's Williams again. Bogle out to meet him. This is better again though from Forest. Williams tries to swing a ball in, but Bogle blocks it. Out now towards Murillo. Inside to Sangare. Trying to lead the press. Stacker's made a good challenge there. Wilson tries to put it across, but it's a poor pass. Gibbs White can intercept and get Forest going again. Murillo over pass through the lines, and this is better again from the side in Garibaldi. It's towards Olarena. Edge of the box now. Trying to line one up on his left foot. He will get his strike as well. It's deflected though, easily into the hands of Trafford. Yeah,
deflection helps massively there. Ola has had. I think he's got the right to have a strike there from the edge of the area. Cuts onto his left. There's plenty of Leeds bodies around him and just takes a nick off one of them into the hands of Trafford. Less than 10 minutes to go before half time. I think Leeds fans will be hoping to see a little bit more going forward. I think, albeit if it's a draw at the end of the game, they probably won't mind, but they're just sort of teetering towards being under the cosh a little bit, I'd say, in the last sort of 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, ever since that Wilson disallowed goal, it's actually been more Forest, hasn't it, ever since then? So it might have just woken them up a little bit, inspired something in them. Sure, Oliver Glasner shouting out instructions in the aftermath of that disallowed goal for Leeds United. It's an interesting one as well with Harry Wilson. I think it's a different system to what he was playing in at Fulham. And Daniel Farke said that as well in pre-season, that it will take time for Wilson to sort of adapt to this new team. Early signs still look good, but I think obviously to produce the season that he produced last season with Fulham, the amount of goals and output, it's going to be a big ask.
Yeah, he was a big fish in a small pond, really, wasn't he? At Fulham, that's a good ball around the corner, looking for Igor Jesus. They're certainly waking up the tricky trees.
Yeah, they definitely are. Taking the throw in quickly as well towards Murillo. Now back towards Milinkovic again. Forest with a nice spell of possession at the moment. Played forward again by Murillo, and Bogle's been caught out by the run of Williams, who's up to the byline. Left-footed ball will come in as well. Ampadu way to clear it though. Bogle been shoved off the ball a little bit there. The Forest fans just by the touchline, not happy with that decision. As Doy is adjudged to have fouled Jayden Bogle, so that will be a free kick to Leeds. Not much in it really.
Yeah, you can see the frustration of the fans, and you've got to agree with them really, because I think Bogle's looking for that. He's waiting for the contact from Dan Doy. It eventually comes and sort of makes it a little bit more of it than he needed to there, Jayden Bogle, but free kick just to stem the flow nonetheless.
Yep, Leeds will appreciate that one. After being under the cosh a little bit, been another goal in the game at Pride Park in the Championship. Cardiff have retaken the lead against Derby County. It's Selic this time who's put the Bluebirds ahead. They were involved in that thrilling finish against Wrexham on the opening night. Ruben Colwell, 95th minute free kick, salvage a point there in that Welsh derby. It's going to be a free kick now to Nottingham Forest. This time it's Igor Jesus who's gone down clutching the back of his head. Rob Jones been a busy man so far, plenty of free kicks being given.
Yeah, it's got a little bit scrappy, hasn't it, over the last sort of 10-15 minutes. Jakob Biol it was this time. One of many a player in this Leeds side who were signed, I think, with the intent of really increasing the strength and size of the Leeds team, particularly from set pieces, but proved himself a very good defender as well last season.
Certainly has. 6 minutes left to go, and there's been a coming together there between Biol and Dan Doy. Biol wants to foul this time, but nothing's going to be given as Murillo could drive forward. He's passed Ampadu as well quite easily. Now on towards Igor Jesus. He finds it out wide for Olarena. Cross goes towards the far post. Good move again from Nottingham Forest. It's come off a Leeds man last in the form of Joe Roden, so that will be a corner to Nottingham Forest. Really starting to step onto Leeds now. Williams was arriving at the back post, and they've got another chance at the corner. Yeah,
they certainly do. I mean, we just mentioned the physical prowess that Leeds have got from set pieces, but Forest have got a really good deliverer of the ball. They've got a few good deliverers of the ball, in fact, and plenty to aim for themselves as well.
Certainly do. It's going to be James McAtee to take this in-swinging corner for the home side. Plenty of pushing and shoving going on inside the area. Justin and Doy getting friendly with each other as McAtee puts it to the near post, and it's a little bit of chaos. It's come back towards Gibbs White. Now for McAtee, and again another dangerous ball into the box, and that might result in a little bit of chaos. It's a scramble on the goal line. A Forest player's gone down. Leeds have eventually smashed that one clear. It was tough to see exactly what had happened there. I think it might have come off the post in the end. So Forest once again going close. Igor Jesus might have been at the heart of it, and Leeds are living a bit dangerously.
Yeah, some last-ditch goalkeeping as well from Trafford. He's sort of falling to the ground, and he has to get something in the way of the sort of rebounded effort. Does just enough to sort of double palm it away from goal, but Forest hitting the post there with 5 minutes to go before the break. They're certainly coming out on top in this first half.
Yeah, they certainly are. There's been another goal, by the way, in the game at Portman Road. The only Premier League match so far with goals in it. Sunderland have levelled things up against newly promoted Ipswich Town. It's Nilsson and Gulo who's got the Black Cats level down in East Anglia. Another one to keep an eye on. Still more goals as well in the game at Goodison Park at the Hill Dickinson Stadium between Everton and Crystal Palace. And we're back with Matt Sells inside his own penalty area. Just gathers it up. 4 minutes left to go until half time at the City Ground. Lewin offering a little bit of a press before Sells eventually goes along with it. Biol's lost the header, but it'll still fall through to James Justin. It's a risky pass back to James Trafford, who controls that one with his chest after a heavy one back from the former Leicester man. But Trafford showing his confidence there. Towards Stack now, who can drive forward for Leeds. Finds Aronson inside now, across to Ampadu. Again, Leeds settle for some possession though. Just as I was saying, there was no goals in the game at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. It seems as though Everton have taken the lead against Oliver Glasner's former side, Crystal Palace. It's Kane and Dewsbury Hall, who had a good season last year for the Toffees. He scored the opening goal in that one. So our game now the only in the top flight. Yet to see back of the net bulge, apart from of course that Harry Wilson goal, which was ruled out for Leeds. They haven't had much since then. It's been Forest who have been the better side. We're finally going to see a replay as well of that chance a few moments ago. Yeah, it came off the post. It might have actually been Cunha who got the header. Trafford was beaten from that range. Tough to see at the time, and then it's just over the head of Igor Jesus, who can't convert the rebound. It really was close.
Yeah, it certainly was. And we thought it hit the post, and it did. It wasn't a save from Trafford. He did then save the rebound, though, as it sort of muddled around inside the area. Leeds just might feel maybe coming into half-time that they've been let off a little bit. You mentioned yet to have a shot on target, did have the ball in the back of the net, but no real threat going forward from them up until this moment. But Forest, Forest haven't looked brilliant either. They've looked okay. They've had 2 headers from Jesus, and that's been their best 2 opportunities. But they will be happier.
Yeah, certainly will. Here is Muralemovic now again, going with the long ball down the line for James Justin to chase. He's got it as well as the former Luton and Leicester man. Ball into the box is a low one and not much power on it, so Calvert-Lewin can't get there. Forest have done well with the long ball, but there goes Joe Rodon to step in. He's lost out though, not retained possession for Leeds. Gibbs White's got a bit lucky there with his flick as it's come off of Justin Laston out for a throw-in. Captain takes it quickly and finds Olerena, now inside towards McAtee. Cunha, just seen his header come off the upright, inches away from giving Forest the lead at the City ground. Going across towards Murillo, back to Sells in goal. Calvert-Lewin will lead the press for Leeds, but Sells boots it clear of him. Good header there from Beale. If Wilson can get there, he can't. He's beaten to it by Milinkovic, but Joe Rodon again strives forward. Is that going to be a free kick to Leeds? It is as well. Forest are happy. They were about to get away on the attack. It might have actually been Stack who was fouled in the end. Milinkovic not happy, but again another free kick in the middle of the pitch.
Yeah, I think Stack maybe just looks a little bit off it so far in this first half. Just looks a touch shy of the fitness levels, or at least the speed of the game. He had that injury, as I mentioned, towards the end of last season. He's had a decent pre-season, had an extended break, of course, because he wasn't at the World Cup. But maybe just quite not up to speed. He has been caught out a couple of times, but he's won a free kick on this occasion. Into the final minute of the 45. Could be a chance here for Leeds.
Yeah, definitely could be. He set such high standards, didn't he, last season for Leeds, Anton Stack. Fantastic goal-scoring campaign from him. Wilson has floated it towards the edge of the box. Beale stronger than Aina and loops it back into the area. It's a clearance away from Milinkovic, and then another strong one from Dan and Doy downfield past the halfway line, but it will go out for a throw-in. So we wait to find out how much added time is going to be added at the end of this one. Can't see there being too much. A couple of VAR checks, of course, for the yellow card for Olerena, which may have been a red card. Obviously Harry Wilson's goal ruled out as well for offside. Leeds have got that throw-in that we were talking about just by the halfway line. It's gone forward. Calvert-Lewin wants to run off the back of it, but Forest have put it out for yet another throw-in for Leeds. It's 2 minutes that we're going to get at the end of this first 45 minutes. This is the time for one of these sides to nudge themselves in front going into the interval. It is going to be the long throw-in from Ethan Ampadu. He's taking a little bit of stick from the supporters just behind him, ordering his players around inside the box, so it's going to be direct for Leeds. Bit of pushing and shoving going on. Ampadu launches it into the area. Who can win the knockdown? A bit of chaos again ensues before McAtee with a overhead kick clearance. Reaches back with Ampadu. He's on the centre circle, across towards Jaden Bogle, and then finds Aronson. Under pressure from Ndoye. Can he get past the Swiss international? Though he can't. He'll have to go back towards Bogle again. Well inside his own half now for Leeds. As other half-time scores start to roll in across the championship. Ampadu just moving forward. Leeds look settled at the moment, just to go in at the break at 0-0. They've had a couple of close scares in this one. Forest have hit the upright. James Trafford's been called into action as well. Beale now for Bogle, goes down the line with it. It's an ambitious ball. If Wilson can get there, he can't, but he'll still make Milinkovic work hard for it, and he's stolen it off him for the time being. Milinkovic then uses his strength to get back in front, and there's a push from Wilson at the end. That's a free kick right by the corner flag.
Yeah, you can see that coming, couldn't you? Great strength from Milinkovic. Nearly dispossessed by Wilson, but just holds out, gets himself into the corner, feels the contact from the Welshman and goes down, and really good decision from him. And Forest will have themselves a free kick. We're going to hit half-time in just about 20 seconds or so, and I think, again, Forest probably the better of the two sides. Wouldn't say that they deserve to be in front. Leeds, of course, I don't think they deserve to be in front either. I think a draw is probably a fair result to this point.
Definitely say the same as well. Sells take this one long then and draw the first half to a close. Belgium eventually does punt it long down the field, and Rob Jones does blow for half-time. Nothing to separate these two sides so far at the interval at the City Ground. It's Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 0.
Half-time, Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 0. Leeds did have the ball in the back of the net. Harry Wilson thought he'd scored on debut for his new side, but it was ruled correctly offside. There was a challenge from Ola Aina which went to a VAR review. It was just a yellow, and 11 players remained on the pitch. Forest then went on to hit the bar through Igor Jesus. He had 2 headers in that first half, one forced a save from Trafford and one hit the woodwork. Neither side deserved the opening goal. It's half-time, 0-0. Half-time, Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 0. Leeds did have the ball in the back of the net. Harry Wilson thought he'd scored on debut for his new side, but it was ruled correctly offside. There was a challenge from Ola Aina which went to a VAR review. It was just a yellow, and 11 players remained on the pitch. Forest then went on to hit the bar through Igor Jesus. He had 2 headers in that first half, one forced a save from Trafford and one hit the woodwork. Neither side deserved the opening goal. It's half-time, 0-0. Half-time, Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 0. Leeds did have the ball in the back of the net. Harry Wilson thought he'd scored on debut for his new side, but it was ruled correctly offside. There was a challenge from Ola Aina which went to a VAR review. It was just a yellow, and 11 players remained on the pitch. Forest then went on to hit the bar through Igor Jesus. He had 2 headers in that first half, one forced a save from Trafford and one hit the woodwork. Neither side deserved the opening goal. It's half-time, 0-0. Half-time, Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 0. Leeds did have the ball in the back of the net. Harry Wilson thought he'd scored on debut for his new side, but it was ruled correctly offside. There was a challenge from Ola Aina which went to a VAR review. It was just a yellow, and 11 players remained on the pitch. Forest then went on to hit the bar through Igor Jesus. He had 2 headers in that first half, one forced a save from Trafford and one hit the woodwork. Neither side deserved the opening goal. It's half-time, 0-0. Half-time, Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 0. Leeds did have the ball in the back of the net. Harry Wilson thought he'd scored on debut for his new side, but it was ruled correctly offside. There was a challenge from Ola Aina which went to a VAR review. It was just a yellow, and 11 players remained on the pitch. Forest then went on to hit the bar through Igor Jesus. He had 2 headers in that first half, one forced a save from Trafford and one hit the woodwork. Neither side deserved the opening goal. It's half-time, 0-0. Half-time, Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 0. Leeds did have the ball in the back of the net. Harry Wilson thought he'd scored on debut for his new side, but it was ruled correctly offside. There was a challenge from Ola Aina which went to a VAR review. It was just a yellow, and 11 players remained on the pitch. Forest then went on to hit the bar through Igor Jesus. He had 2 headers in that first half, one forced a save from Trafford and one hit the woodwork. Neither side deserved the opening goal. It's half-time, 0-0. Half-time, Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 0. Leeds did have the ball in the back of the net. Harry Wilson thought he'd scored on debut for his new side, but it was ruled correctly offside. There was a challenge from Ola Aina which went to a VAR review. It was just a yellow, and 11 players remained on the pitch. Forest then went on to hit the bar through Igor Jesus. He had 2 headers in that first half, one forced a save from Trafford and one hit the woodwork. Neither side deserved the opening goal. It's half-time, 0-0. Half-time, Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 0. Leeds did have the ball in the back of the net. Harry Wilson thought he'd scored on debut for his new side, but it was ruled correctly offside. There was a challenge from Ola Aina which went to a VAR review. It was just a yellow, and 11 players remained on the pitch. Forest then went on to hit the bar through Igor Jesus. He had 2 headers in that first half, one forced a save from Trafford and one hit the woodwork. Neither side deserved the opening goal. It's half-time, 0-0. Half-time, Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 0. Leeds did have the ball in the back of the net. Harry Wilson thought he'd scored on debut for his new side, but it was ruled correctly offside. There was a challenge from Ola Aina which went to a VAR review. It was just a yellow,
11 players remained on the pitch. Forest then went on to hit the bar through Igor Jesus. He had 2 headers in that first half, one forced a save from Trafford and one hit the woodwork. Neither side deserved the opening goal. It's half-time, 0-0. Half-time, Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 0. Leeds did have the ball in the back of the net. Harry Wilson thought he'd scored on debut for his new side, but it was ruled correctly offside. There was a challenge from Ola Aina which went to a VAR review. It was just a yellow. 11 players remained on the pitch. Forest then went on to hit the bar through Igor Jesus. He had 2 headers in that first half, one forced a save from Trafford and one hit the woodwork. Neither side deserved the opening goal. It's half-time, 0-0. Half-time, Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 0. Leeds did have the ball in the back of the net. Harry Wilson thought he'd scored on debut for his new side, but it was ruled correctly offside. There was a challenge from Ola Aina which went to a VAR review. It was just a yellow. 11 players remained on the pitch. Forest then went on to hit the bar through Igor Jesus. He had 2 headers in that first half, one forced a save from Trafford and one hit the woodwork. Neither side deserved the opening goal. It's half-time, 0-0. Half-time, Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 0. Leeds did have the ball in the back of the net. Harry Wilson thought he'd scored on debut for his new side, but it was ruled correctly offside. There was a challenge from Ola Aina which went to a VAR review. It was just a yellow. 11 players remained on the pitch. Forest then went on to hit the bar through Igor Jesus. He had 2 headers in that first half, one forced a save from Trafford and one hit the woodwork. Neither side deserved the opening goal. It's half-time, 0-0. Half-time, Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 0. Leeds did have the ball in the back of the net. Harry Wilson thought he'd scored on debut for his new side, but it was ruled correctly offside. There was a challenge from Ola Aina which went to a VAR review. It was just a yellow. 11 players remained on the pitch. Forest then went on to hit the bar through Igor Jesus. He had 2 headers in that first half, one forced a save from Trafford and one hit the woodwork. Neither side deserved the opening goal. It's half-time, 0-0. Half-time, Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 0. Leeds did have the ball in the back of the net. Harry Wilson thought he'd scored on debut for his new side, but it was ruled correctly offside. There was a challenge from Ola Aina which went to a VAR review. It was just a yellow. 11 players remained on the pitch. Forest then went on to hit the bar through Igor Jesus. He had 2 headers in that first half, one forced a save from Trafford and one hit the woodwork. Neither side deserved the opening goal. It's half-time, 0-0. Half-time, Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 0. Leeds did have the ball in the back of the net. Harry Wilson thought he'd scored on debut for his new side, but it was ruled correctly offside. There was a challenge from Ola Aina which went to a VAR review. It was just a yellow. 11 players remained on the pitch. Forest then went on to hit the bar through Igor Jesus. He had 2 headers in that first half, one forced a save from Trafford and one hit the woodwork. Neither side deserved the opening goal. It's half-time, 0-0. Half-time, Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 0. Leeds did have the ball in the back of the net. Harry Wilson thought he'd scored on debut for his new side, but it was ruled correctly offside. There was a challenge from Ola Aina which went to a VAR review. It was just a yellow. 11 players remained on the pitch. Forest then went on to hit the bar through Igor Jesus. He had 2 headers in that first half, one forced a save from Trafford and one hit the woodwork. Neither side deserved the opening goal. It's half-time, 0-0. Half-time, Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 0. Leeds did have the ball in the back of the net. Harry Wilson thought he'd scored on debut for his new side, but it was ruled correctly offside. There was a challenge from Ola Aina which went to a VAR review. It was just a yellow. 11 players remained on the pitch. Forest then went on to hit the bar through Igor Jesus. He had 2 headers in that first half, one forced a save from Trafford and one hit the woodwork. Neither side deserved the opening goal. It's half-time, 0-0. Half-time, Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 0. Leeds did have the ball in the back of the net. Harry Wilson thought he'd scored on debut for his new side, but it was ruled correctly offside. There was a challenge from Ola Aina which went to a VAR review. It was just a yellow. 11 players remained on the pitch. Forest then went on to hit the bar through Igor Jesus. He had 2 headers in that first half, one forced a save from Trafford and one hit the woodwork. Neither side deserved the opening goal. It's half-time, 0-0. Half-time, Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 0. Leeds did have the ball in the back of the net. Harry Wilson thought he'd scored on debut for his new side, but it was ruled correctly offside. There was a challenge from Ola Aina which went to a VAR review. It was just a yellow. 11 players remained on the pitch. Forest then went on to hit the bar through Igor Jesus. He had 2 headers in that first half, one forced a save from Trafford and one hit the woodwork. Neither side deserved the opening goal. It's half-time, 0-0. Half-time, Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 0. Leeds did have the ball in the back of the net. Harry Wilson thought he'd scored on debut for his new side, but it was ruled correctly offside. There was a challenge from Ola Aina which went to a VAR review. It was just a yellow, and 11 players remained on the pitch. Forest then went on to hit the bar through Igor Jesus. He had 2 headers in that first half, one forced a save from Trafford and one hit the woodwork. Neither side deserved the opening goal. It's half-time, 0-0. Half-time, Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 0. Leeds did have the ball in the back of the net. Harry Wilson thought he'd scored on debut for his new side, but it was ruled correctly offside. There was a challenge from Ola Aina which went to a VAR review. It was just a yellow, and 11 players remained on the pitch. Forest then went on to hit the bar through Igor Jesus. He had 2 headers in that first half, one forced a save from Trafford and one hit the woodwork. Neither side deserved the opening goal. It's half-time, 0-0. Half-time, Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 0. Leeds did have the ball in the back of the net. Harry Wilson thought he'd scored on debut for his new side, but it was ruled correctly offside. There was a challenge from Ola Aina which went to a VAR review. It was just a yellow, and 11 players remained on the pitch. Forest then went on to hit the bar through Igor Jesus. He had 2 headers in that first half, one forced a save from Trafford and one hit the woodwork. Neither side deserved the opening goal. It's half-time, 0-0. Half-time, Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 0. Leeds did have the ball in the back of the net. Harry Wilson thought he'd scored on debut for his new side. It was ruled correctly offside. There was a challenge from Ola Aina which went to a VAR review. It was just a yellow, and 11 players remained on the pitch. Forest then went on to hit the bar through Igor Jesus. He had 2 headers in that first half, one forced a save from Trafford and one hit the woodwork. Neither side deserved the opening goal. It's half-time, 0-0. Half-time, Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 0. Leeds did have the ball in the back of the net. Harry Wilson thought he'd scored on debut for his new side, but it was ruled correctly offside. There was a challenge from Ola Aina which went to a VAR review. It was just a yellow, and 11 players remained on the pitch. Forest then went on to hit the bar through Igor Jesus. He had 2 headers in that first half, one forced a save from Trafford and one hit the woodwork. Neither side deserved the opening goal. It's half-time, 0-0. Half-time, Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 0. Leeds did have the ball in the back of the net. Harry Wilson thought he'd scored on debut for his new side, but it was ruled correctly offside. There was a challenge from Ola Aina which went to a VAR review. It was just a yellow, and 11 players remained on the pitch. Forest then went on to hit the bar through Igor Jesus. He had 2 headers in that first half, one forced a save from Trafford and one hit the woodwork. Neither side deserved the opening goal. It's half-time, 0-0. Half-time, Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 0. Leeds did have the ball in the back of the net. Harry Wilson thought he'd scored on debut for his new side, but it was ruled correctly offside. There was a challenge from Ola Aina which went to a VAR review. It was just a yellow, and 11 players remained on the pitch. Forest then went on to hit the bar through Igor Jesus. He had 2 headers in that first half, one forced a save from Trafford and one hit the woodwork. Neither side deserved the opening goal. It's half-time, 0-0. Half-time, Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 0. Leeds did have the ball in the back of the net. Harry Wilson thought he'd scored on debut for his new side, but it was ruled correctly offside. There was a challenge from Ola Aina which went to a VAR review. It was just a yellow, and 11 players remained on the pitch. Forest then went on to hit the bar through Igor Jesus. He had 2 headers in that first half, one forced a save from Trafford and one hit the woodwork. Neither side deserved the opening goal. It's half-time, 0-0. Half-time, Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 0. Leeds did have the ball in the back of the net. Harry Wilson thought he'd scored on debut for his new side. It was ruled correctly offside. There was a challenge from Ola Aina which went to a VAR review. It was just a yellow, and 11 players remained on the pitch. Forest then went on to hit the bar through Igor Jesus. He had 2 headers in that first half, one forced a save from Trafford and one hit the woodwork. Neither side deserved the opening goal. It's half-time, 0-0. Half-time, Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 0. Leeds did have the ball in the back of the net. Harry Wilson thought he'd scored on debut for his new side, but it was ruled correctly offside. There was a challenge from Ola Aina which went to a VAR review. It was just a yellow, and 11 players remained on the pitch. Forest then went on to hit the bar through Igor Jesus. He had 2 headers in that first half, one forced a save from Trafford and one hit the woodwork. Neither side deserved the opening goal. It's half-time, 0-0. Half-time, Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 0. Leeds did have the ball in the back of the net. Harry Wilson thought he'd scored on debut for his new side, but it was ruled correctly offside. There was a challenge from Ola Aina which went to a VAR review. It was just a yellow, and 11 players remained on the pitch. Forest then went on to hit the bar through Igor Jesus. He had 2 headers in that first half, one forced a save from Trafford and one hit the woodwork. Neither side deserved the opening goal. It's half-time, 0-0. Half-time, Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 0. Leeds did have the ball in the back of the net. Harry Wilson thought he'd scored on debut for his new side. It was ruled correctly offside. There was a challenge from Ola Aina which went to a VAR review. It was just a yellow, and 11 players remained on the pitch. Forest then went on to hit the bar through Igor Jesus. He had 2 headers in that first half, one forced a save from Trafford and one hit the woodwork. Neither side deserved the opening goal. It's half-time, 0-0. Half-time, Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 0. Leeds did have the ball in the back of the net. Harry Wilson thought he'd scored.
And it's a warm welcome back to this off-tube independent studio-based commentary and our coverage of this Premier League clash, the first game of the season for these two sides on the opening weekend. Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 0. And you'd probably say that Nottingham Forest were just the better of the two sides in the opening 45 minutes. They, unlike Leeds, forced a save from the opposition goalkeeper James Trafford down to his left-hand side following an Igor Jesus header. Jesus then went on to hit the woodwork from his head later on in the first half. Leeds had the ball in the back of the net through Harry Wilson, who, well, I was going to say he probably thought he'd scored on debut, but he immediately showed no signs of celebrating, suggesting he knew he was offside. The replay suggested that that was the correct decision. So it is still 0-0 as far as come forward from right to left in this second half. It's the red shirt with the white trim, the white shorts and the red socks for them. Leeds in the new away strip, all yellow top, yellow socks, and it's I think it's dark blue. It's certainly dark shorts for Daniel Farke's side. They go from left to right. Myself, Tom Wilson, joined once again by Josh Makin for this second half, and I think both sides will be pretty happy with the scoreline, if not maybe the performance. I think probably both teams are a couple of gears shy of where they want to be.
Yeah, they certainly are, and we always see that, don't we, at these sort of opening points of the season where the two teams are still sort of bedding into a new style. So we said Leeds have got a few new signings in the starting 11, so it's going to take the time for them to be at their best. I thought they started really well, Daniel Farke's team. I thought they were better. They were a better team up until the 20-minute mark. Sort of when Harry Wilson scored that disallowed goal, and after that it seemed to be more Forest on the attack, but here come Leeds now. Yeah,
Aronson cuts in, shot at goal, saved by Matt Sells. That's much better from a Leeds United perspective. It's a first test for Nottingham Forest goalkeeper. It is pretty central, it's straight at him. There's a lovely jink inside from the American and a decent strike as well. Wilson caught in the build to that one. We'll just keep an eye on that because Murillo went through him quite heavily as he sprayed it out towards the far side. For now it's play on. I'll get Josh's thoughts on that effort in just a second, but here come Forest with Gibbs White, central left position, bearing down on the edge of the area. He's pretty much alone though on this left hand side. He's waiting for teammates to come and support him now. Here's McAtee, Murillo into the channel for Williams down the line to Gibbs White, Roden on his case, back to the Welsh international Williams, of which there are a few of course in the Leeds United side. Real Welsh contingent over the last 4 or 5 years for them. Across towards Milenkovic, good pressure from Calvert-Lewin, and as far as keep the ball, a first effort on target for Leeds, Josh.
Yeah, it is. It's a save again that you'd probably expect Matt Sells to make. I'll break off though. They're in it, inside the box now.
Yeah, Aina in behind here. Great ball from nowhere really from Gibbs White. Aina still in possession, right hand side. Cuts back one way, then the other. Lays it back to his full-back. Now here's McAtee, lofted into the area towards the far stick. Nodded down by Williams, sent away though by Rodon. Harry Wilson gives chase. He's nuzzled off the ball by Williams towards the edge of the area. It's allowed to run for Aina around the corner. There's a foul there on the edge of the box. Referee's given it, and that will be a free kick. Aina and Justin again colliding. Aina on a yellow card. No suggestion that there will be a second, but Forest moving the ball well.
Yeah, they are. It's definitely not a second yellow there. I think Anna just sort of goes into that one. Again, it's on Justin. It's what the initial yellow card was given for. It was checked by VAR. But a decent start to a half for both sides, really. Leeds have had their first shot on target through Brendan Aronson. As I was saying, a pretty, not tame effort. He still hit it with some power, but it was down the barrel of Sells, and they had to adjust slightly to make that save. Forest then responding. A nice ball over towards Aina. Leeds players back, though, ready to defend it. That's a welcome free kick.
Another goal in the Championship, first of the second half. It's gone to Blackburn, who've pegged Middlesbrough back. It's 1-1 in that one. Former, Iceland international, son of former Iceland international Ida Gudjonsson, Andrew Gudjonsson, has got the goal. Already scored in the EFL Cup this season. He's got his first in the league now as well. 5 minutes gone in the second half. Forest 0, Leeds 0. Just seen a replay there of coming together between Sangare and Stack. Maybe a minimal touch on the ball there from the German international, but definitely made contact, as Forest will have it from a set piece. Great game between Derby and Cardiff in the second tier. Back and forth ding-dong battle. Cardiff have led twice, Derby have pegged them back twice. They've done so again in the second half. Bobby Clark has got the equaliser. He set up the first for Carlton Morris. It's 2-2 in that one. Leeds free kick this time is taken quickly by Ampadu. Leeds captain back to Biol. Now here's Rodon to Biol once more. Backwards towards, nearly said Carl Darlow there. It's James Trafford in goal now to Biol. Biol forward to Ampadu. He's giving him a lot to do, but he's got there. He's fired it into the feet of Calvert-Lewin. This is really good football from Leeds. They've just played triangles through Nottingham Forest. It's opened up towards the far side. The ball just behind James Justin as he made a run forward. Anton Stack again unable to find his man, but really good to get out of danger.
Yeah, that was fantastic, Leeds. That's what we saw from them last season, that being that sort of ability to go as unit. Great pass in between them, and you're thinking there Stack's just going to put that into the path of James Justin for him to run onto. It's not the greatest ball from the German, it's behind Justin. That's why it goes out for a throw-in the end. The former Leicester man can't adjust to take that in his stride. Mentioned in the first half, Stack looked slightly off it for Leeds, not to his usual high standards that he set last season, but could be a chance now. Calvert-Lewin in the box. Calvert-Lewin
inside the area, shot comes in on the left boot. He was never really balanced, he could never really set himself for that, but it's a sighter for the former Everton man. Just over the bar, he was onside, definitely. Just got there ahead of the defender, tight angle over the bar.
Yeah, tough there for Dominic Calvert-Lewin to score. Had such a prolific campaign, didn't he, last season. It was incredible inside the box for Leeds in those sort of goal poacher positions. This time it's going to be very hard to score from that sort of area. Still a decent enough effort. Leeds are having more in terms of attempts at least, aren't they, in this second half than we saw from them in the first, and Aronson has won it off Milenkovic.
Yeah, he has. He's won a free kick as well. He has indeed. Rob Jones awarding a free kick there to the American. He beat one, got past him, and then felt a bit of contact from a couple in red shirts. One of those who fouled him is going to go into the book. Is it Milenkovic? No, it's Cunha. Cunha has been shown the second yellow card for a Forest player after Aina picked one up in the first half. Really good from Aronson.
Yeah, that's the best of Brendan Aronson there, isn't it? He's such a nightmare for defenders to handle with his high work rate and his pressing, and he wins the ball back there in the corner. He's then driving towards the box. Cunha just decides to trip him up. It's a definite foul, and you can see why the yellow card's been given as well. This is a real dangerous position for Leeds. Anton Stack standing over it as well. We know that he can hit a pretty good free kick as we saw last season. Not sure if he will go for goal from this position. The angle's very tight, but so many yellow shirts in the box. This is a good one for Leeds.
Yeah, two on the edge as well, in waiting. Anton Stack stood over it. James Justin's at the front post, just being spoken to about something by Rob Jones. Biol's up there, Calvert-Lewin, Rodon, Ampadu waiting inside the area. Wilson and Aronson is waiting on the edge of the area. Rob Jones blows his whistle, Stack over it, fires one in towards a back stick. It's over the bar. It whistles over the top of the crossbar. Head in hands there from Anton Stack. I'm not sure it was really ever troubling Matt Sells. It was a decent delivery.
It's hit it really well. I mean, Sells is rooted to the spot. In the end, we've been given a good replay of it, sort of behind the goal to the side. It's never really in any danger of going in to that top corner. It's well past the post in the end, but a decent effort from Stack. I thought that's what he might try from that sort of position, rather than just lofting it and get some pace on it. And a decent effort from the German.
Goal kick taken by Sells. Here's Wilson, gets the ball on halfway. Can he open it up towards the far side? He just try and find his man. It is Stack on the left-hand side. Looks inside the area for Wilson once more. It's Aronson who got on the end of it. Could never really bring it under control. I actually couldn't tell if it was Aronson or Wilson. They looked so similar in full motion. One of them was inside the box and couldn't bring it under their spell. May have been offside anyway. As Nottingham Forest were able to clear their lines. 54 minutes on the clock. Forest 0, Leeds 0. Forest free kick here. Tarek Mehmemovic is frustrated because I think he and Igor Jesus, to be honest, had a bit of each other's shirts, but the free kick's gone the way of the Tricky Trees.
Yeah, Rob Jones going in favour of Nottingham Forest there, and see what Mehmemovic thinks of it. He thinks that Jesus has just got as much of him as he does the Brazilian striker. Been better though, haven't they, in the second half so far? They've come out better. They've started to look a bit more dangerous in attack, a bit more direct going forward. See more of Aronson and Calvert-Lewin already. It was a wonderful touch from Calvert-Lewin just to set that counter-attack up. Didn't lead to anything in the end, and Gibbs White now with his free kick.
Lofts it in towards the back six, headed up into the air by Milenkovic, flicked on by Sangare, away from Rodon. Aina trying to keep it alive on the far side, does get the ball in front of Harry Wilson, flicks it round the corner. Cunha to Sangare. It's good football from Forest. Have they just overhit it? No. Still in play. Aina into the area towards the back six. The heads go up. Oh, it's just past the post. It's just wide. Again, it's Igor Jesus with a header. That's 3 now in the game that have caused problems for Leeds. This one off target. One of them has been on target. One of them's hit the post. Really good build-up play.
Yeah, fantastic play around the corner there, isn't it? And all Aina gets in a really dangerous position. It's a fantastic ball in, and Igor Jesus attacking that. He's looked really good in pre-season as the Brazilian just gets in round the back of Justin, who misses the header. Trafford might have that one covered at the far post anyway, and it's by no means an easy chance for Jesus, but he'll probably expect better from himself.
Yeah, it's into the ground. It ends up going over the bar, but I think it's wide as well. So high and wide really from the Brazilian. Here comes Leeds. Here come Leeds, sorry, with Stack. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, will he hit that? He will. It's not really caught it as he wanted. Takes a deflection. That means it'll stay in play. It'll be Williams to pick it up on the near left-hand side. More goals to bring you. Blackburn have come from behind against Middlesbrough. They now lead by 2 goals to 1 at home. Todd Cantwell with the second. And Everton have doubled their lead at home against Crystal Palace. Tieno Barry has got his first of the season in that one. 2-0 to Everton. Still 1-1 between Ipswich and Sunderland. It's Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds 0. You're listening to Off-Tube Independent Studio-based commentary. 56.5 gone. Here's Murillo, left-hand side for Forest. Low driven one forward to Igor Jesus. That's a good ball around the corner to McAtee. McAtee opens up towards the far side for Aina. Basically a right winger at this stage in the game. Cuts it onto his left, drilled the ball forward. Hits Anton Stack. It's partially cleared, but it's picked up once again by a man in a red shirt. Here's Sangare. Sangare lost one forward towards the edge of the area. Headed up rather than cleared by Justin, and Doy picks it up. Had a decent World Cup with Switzerland, scored 2 goals, one against Algeria and one against Argentina. It comes off James Justin and out for a throw. Of course, his countryman, his teammate, Johan Manzambi, the real breakout star, you would say, of the World Cup. Got a big money move to Aston Villa. He's injured, so we won't see him this opening weekend. Won't see him for a little while, but when he does feature, expect big things. And Doy, as a throw-in comes in from Aina, it's flicked into the air, and in the end, a save required from James Trafford once more. Maybe even come off a Leeds head, that one, but James Trafford called into action once again. Yeah,
he looked pretty cool about it though, didn't he, James Trafford, in the end, just to put that one, stop it from going into the top corner. Measured performance so far from the Leeds goalkeeper. I think his distribution's been pretty solid as well. He's crying out for a keeper who can play out from the back better. Luca Perry, I don't think, brought that last season. He is actually on the bench today, which is quite surprising, because we all thought, I think once Trafford signed, that would open the door for Luca Perry to make the move. I think Torino were interested on loan. Not sure what the hold-up has been with that, but he is still a Leeds player for the time being.
Here's Harry Wilson. Now Bogle. Bogle dinked forward looking for the run of Aronson. Murillo just takes it away from his path. Finds Williams. Williams to Sangare. Forest plays some really good football, and they've got out of danger once again. Igor Jesus maybe just trying to be a bit too smart as he tried to go round the corner. That allows Rodon to dispossess him, and now it's Leeds' turn to play some good football. Calvert-Lewin's going to be offside as that ball finds him in behind the defence. Just under an hour gone. Free kick to Forest. Forest 0, Leeds 0. We just saw some pictures of potentially our first change. Chris Wood, formerly of Leeds United, getting stripped and ready, getting some instructions from Oliver Glasner's staff. Really good player on his day. Chris Wood, of course, another striking option, Taiwo Awoniyi. He's gone to Coventry. Came off the bench yesterday in that 3-0 defeat against Arsenal in the opening game of the Premier League season. Here's Gibbs White across to Jaya Cunha, who has been booked, as has this man now, Ola Aina. Aina looks forward, gets an overlapping run from McAtee. That's good football. Aina once more. First time ball into the area is blocked. He'll battle for possession on the second, doesn't win it. Instead it's Aronson. He'll bring the ball forward and out of danger. Dribbles, as he so often does, into space. Poor ball from Calvert-Lewin though, around the corner, and it's been won back, and now it's really open here. Here's Forest on the left-hand side, down the line to the overlapping run of Williams, dinked in towards the back post. It's a poor delivery. It's how to play for a goal kick. The game just opening up. Yeah,
it is, and you expect better from Nico Williams there in that position, darting down the left side. It's a fantastic run, and none of the Leeds players can track it, and it just allows that reverse pass to go in there from Igor Jesus. Unfortunately, no one's attacking at the far post anyway in a Nottingham Forest shirt. You expected better of Dominic Calvert-Lewin with his link up there as well. He tries to find it towards Harry Wilson. It's a wayward pass, and if he gets that one right, Leeds could have been away. In the end, it was actually Nottingham Forest who ended up with the chance.
An hour gone. Forest 0, Leeds 0. Ball forward from Biol, nodded on by Calvert-Lewin, but won back by Nottingham Forest. Forward now to Gibbs White, round the corner towards the far side. Enjoy will chase, but he won't get there in front of James Trafford, who comes off his line to collect the loose ball. He'll look for options as he bowls one out towards Joe Rodon. Not seen as much of him as we maybe thought we would in this sort of Sheffield United Chris Wilder style overlapping central defensive role. Daniel Farke, as I mentioned, had to switch at half-time against Manchester City in December of last year. Since then, they've been in really good form, but their form away from home hasn't been great since their return to the Premier League. Only won twice away from home last season. Only the two of the relegated side, Wolves and Burnley, picked up fewer points than them away from home. But they did only lose 2 of their final 12 games away towards the end of the season. 61 gone. Here's Aina, right-hand side. Support right and left. Uses the latter in Sangare. Central position now from Sangare. Just opens up. Will he hit one? He does. He's not caught that as well as he'd hoped. It's high and wide. Not too handsome, and out for a Leeds goal kick.
Yeah, I'm sure he's probably been urged by the crowd to have a shot from that position there, but doesn't catch it right at all. Sangare has shown in his time at Forest he can actually hit one when he gets it right. We are now going to see that change being made. It is Dan and Doy who's going to make way for Chris Wood. So Igor Jesus staying on the pitch. They've now got 2 strikers on.
They do indeed, yeah. Dan and Doy and Gibbs White up to this point have been playing sort of as 2 number 10s really, supporting Igor Jesus. We'll just see potentially it'll push Williams and Aina even further forward. Gibbs White into the 10, maybe they will go 2 up top. We'll wait and see. Chris Wood, as I mentioned before, formerly a Leeds United player, 34 years of age now, but did play 3 seasons at Ellen Road. Really, well, 2 seasons really left in his 3rd season. 2 really strong campaigns in the Championship. 13 goals in 36 and then 27 in 44 is an exceptional return, and he's basically not stopped scoring since then, at least when he's been first choice, which you maybe think he isn't now under Oliver Glasner, given that Igor Jesus got the nod this afternoon. But what a great option to bring off the bench. Ampadu to his left finds Biol. Justin back to Biol. Leeds comfortably in possession. 63 minutes on the clock, still 0-0. Listening to Off-Tube Independent Studio-based commentary. It's a poor ball from Rodon. He played it blindly, and he's left some space in behind here as well for Gibbs White. Here come Forest, left-hand side, ball into the area. It's a brilliant recovery challenge from Biol, but it's still alive here from Forest. Forest towards the edge of the area for Sangare. Opens up for Aina. He's got some space. Tries to loft one into the area. Wrong decision. That's blocked away by Justin. Out for a throw.
Yeah, Joe Rodon's blush is being spared there by Jaka Biol. What a fantastic challenge that was from the Slovenian on the cover, as you were saying, Tom. But the thing with Rodon sometimes does get caught out a little bit when playing out from the back, and Forest sensed that chance there. They put the 2 men on him. Rodon didn't really know what to do with it. Just got away with it in the end, Leeds, although they've still got some defending to do from this throw-in. Yeah,
Ola Aina with the long throw into the area. It comes towards the 6-yard box. The heads go up. It's bobbling around. A shot comes in there from Morgan Gibbs White. Caught it a little bit better than he Caught the volleyed attempt in the first half, but it's still some way off target. And out for a goal kick. 64 minutes on the clock, still goalless. Out for Leeds possession. So second balls though that Forest are winning, aren't they? When the flick on comes, it's usually a Forest man who picks it up.
Yeah, they're really good at these long throwing, sort of perfected what Leeds were good at last season, really. And yeah, Gibbs White, shake of the head there, knows that a player of his quality probably can do better. It's still a hard shot. I mean, he's got to hit it behind him and try and get it on target somehow, beat the likes of James Trafford in goal. So never an easy chance there. Just after that positive start for Leeds to this second half, get the feeling again that Forest have started to get back on top of proceedings, and that's why we're probably now seeing Noah Okafor about to be introduced. Play resumes for now as Forest have got the ball up the other end of the field. Chris Wood dispossessed, but yeah, not surprised to see Okafor being introduced. Had a bit of an extended break after being away with Switzerland for the World Cup. He would it be in, I think most Leeds fans, is sort of strongest starting 11s going into this season, but there could be a chance now.
Yeah, chance on for Chris Wood, who takes a snapshot in first time effort. Really good opportunity for Forest, potentially their biggest of the game. Biggest chance of the game for either side, you have to say. And maybe a fresher Chris Wood, a man who has touched the ball a few more times in the game, would maybe take that opportunity a little bit better than he did. He drags it wide. Yeah,
he does, and I think you are right. I think Chris Wood 2 seasons ago might bury that past James Trafford, but he can't do it on this occasion. Okafor is now going to be introduced. Harry Wilson is actually going to be the player who makes way. A fairly quiet debut for the former Fulham man, who of course signed on a free in the summer. Apart from that goal that was disallowed, really seen too much of the Welsh international.
Yeah, on comes Noah Okafor for him. 65 minutes on the clock. Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds 0. What that change does bring is maybe a little bit more pace. Harry Wilson, probably the more technical of the two. Noah Okafor certainly a little bit more dangerous, you would say, particularly on the break. Something different for Forest to contend with, and of course remember Aina still on the yellow card, as is Cunha, so potentially something they're trying to target.
Yeah, if they can get Okafor running at those two, then it might spell some problems for Nottingham Forest. He ended last season absolutely fantastically. Did the Swiss international, took a bit of time to get going at Leeds, had his time in and out of the side, but really came up with some big moments for them towards the end of the season. Of course, those 2 goals in the win away at Manchester United, goals against likes of Burnley, Wolves as well, all played a part in him having a fantastic season after signing from Milan. Here he is again for his first minutes this season.
Ball goes back to Sells, who has been somewhat tested by Leeds United. Just the one effort on target, really, for Leeds to write home about. Was that effort from Brendan Aronson. Here come Forest, who they themselves have only had 2 attempts at the Leeds United goal, but they have hit the post as well. Aina slip in possession, still manages to keep it as he skips past a couple in Leeds colours. Now here's McAtee. He's been quiet in this second half. Backwards towards halfway for Murillo. Murillo back to McAtee once more. Down the line from him to Williams. Williams in field. Left hand side for Gibbs White. Just about finds Sangare centrally. He's now under pressure from Calvert-Lewin. Forest safely in possession once again. Murillo though plays a poor ball forward. He's gifted possession back to the West Yorkshire side. Now here goes Bogle down the right hand side. Hasn't had an opportunity to break so far. Does so now and wins a throw in on this near side. They've been unable to unleash Bogle. Of course, no Goodmanson either on the left-hand side. It's been a difficult, I think, 67 minutes for Leeds in terms of being able to get at Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, Goodmanson brings so much, doesn't he, down the left side, and when it is just Bogle who can really drive forward, James Justin's solid for them and had a good season last time out, but he's obviously not like Gabriel Goodmanson and how good he is at attacking and sort of creating that outlet for Leeds. When they've got both of them, can sort of confuse the other opponents and sort of drag them to both areas. When it's just Bogle attacking, you can sort of double up and mark him out the game, and Leeds haven't really got that threat on the wings.
Poor challenge there from Joe Rodon into the back of Morgan Gibbs White. I don't think the referee's interested in brandishing another yellow card, but it was a poor challenge from the Welsh international, who's had a bit of a tricky day today, it's got to be said. He has been caught out on a couple of occasions, and now this foul as well, but it's still Forest 0, Leeds 0. You're listening to Off-Tube Independent Studio based commentary. If you're just joining us, Forest hit the post in the first half. Forced a couple of saves from James Trafford in the game so far. Leeds just a one effort on target. Forest maybe just edging things in terms of who's been the better, but you wouldn't say either deserve to find the back of the net, and I'll hand over to Josh to take you through to half-time.
Thank you very much, Tom. Full time, of course.
Full time, yeah,
69
sorry.
minutes of the way through this game, but a bit of a battle ensuing over on that right side. Stacks won a challenge, then Murillo slides in and can only take it out for a throw-in as well, which Leeds will be very happy about. Fantastic from these sort of long throw-in situations. Ampadu going across to take it. It's going to be in front of those Leeds fans as well, to the right of our screens. Packed out away and a packed out City ground as well, as is so often the case these days. To Beal, Calvert-Lewin, all waiting in the area. Ampadu, sort of loft and height can he get on this long throw-in for the Ellen Road outfit? Ampadu launches it into the box. It's headed on. It's going to go to the back post. Okafor lurking, but it's picked up by Justin, who lays it off now to Okafor. Right-footed cross will come into the box. There's the header, and what a save that is from Matt Sells. James Trafford forced into a similar one in the first half. It was Tarek Murademovic, the new signing from Sassuolo, who got to the header. Matt Sells takes the acclaim from his teammates, rightfully so. Fantastic save from him, and it keeps things level.
Yeah, it's a great ball in from Okafor. It's an even better header, but it's all about the save from Sells, because he's moving his body to the right. He maybe expects Murademovic to go back towards his right-hand side, so he shifts his body weight that way and then sprawls to his left to deny Leeds the opening goal. It's a brilliant save.
We've got a corner though, it's whipped in again. It's a good bit of light on it as well. No one could quite get there in a yellow shirt. Forest clear, it's back to Bogle, who might have to go back to the keeper. He's almost caught out by McAtee, but eventually finds the pass back towards James Trafford. Goes along with the kick. It's a fighting one as well. It's falling nicely now for Anton Stack, who tries to play it through Nico Williams. Needs to be careful, he doesn't give a free kick away, does Anton Stack. Williams has gone down with the ball between his feet. Forest want a free kick, Leeds want one as well. It's actually going to be Forest in the end. Leeds will claim obstruction there from Nico Williams after he sort of just lent himself over the ball. Stack has actually been penalised for it though in the end by Rob Jones, and Forest gets somewhat of a respite after that bit of Leeds United pressure. See, they'll just take a bit of a stumble. Williams then stays over it. Stack is trying to win the ball. Ampadu then joins in, and the free kick goes the way of the tricky trees.
Yeah, all a bit messy there, wasn't it? Williams, I think, probably is obstructing the ball. Referee doesn't give it, and then as soon as you see a player sort of trying to kick the ball from under them, you know something's going to happen. There's going to be a free kick.
Yeah, good ball forward there as well, and Justin does touch it, so that's going to go out for a corner for Nottingham Forest. Olarena putting the James Justin under the pressure. Forest have a corner, which we've just seen Leeds have won. Not going to do too much with it after Murademovic's header from an Okafor cross. Alex and Mario Milinkovic making their way forward for this one. The two danger man at set pieces, you feel, for Nottingham Forest. Being marked by Ampadu and Aronson, which is a bit of a physical mismatch at the moment. I'm sure the real markers will take their positions shortly. Again, pushing and shoving going on inside the box. Justin needs to be careful with Milenkovic. It's towards the near post. Easy head away though for Jaden Bogle. Be brought down by Sangaru with Okafor clipping at his heels. Sangaru with a flick behind him towards McAtee. Now to Gibbs White as well on the edge of the area. Gibbs White with a good ball into the box. There's a header as well. It's from a Leeds man though. Initially thought that might be going goalwards with the angle we were given, but it's out towards Williams. Cross again towards the far post. High and looping. Bogle's been double marked, and Stack can't do anything than put that one out for a corner. Not taking chances there is the German, and once again Forest starting to just turn the screw on Leeds.
Yeah, it's really dangerous from Forest. The ball's into the area now, causing some problems for Leeds United. They're holding on for now. Those corners are racking up, and it just allows those big boys and of course Chris Wood to get themselves into the area. But yeah, Forest looks the most dangerous of the two sides and continue to do so.
Yeah, third corner of the game now for Nottingham Forest. It's whipped in again with some real pace at the near post. However, I think that's going to have to be a retake. There's two players down in the box in the form of Cunha and James Justin for Leeds. Not sure what the coming together was between the two of them, but Rob Jones has already blown for it before the corner was taken. We'll see a replay now. Justin, I think he gets trodden on a little bit by Cunha inside the box, goes down, then Cunha slips over him. It's been another goal in the Championship. Wolves have doubled their lead away at Preston North End. Still 2-0 to Everton against Crystal Palace as the corner eventually comes in. Jesus, there's a header towards it. Not sure who that's come off of last. Both sides are relentless with their appeal. It has gone the way of Leeds United in the end for a goal kick, and just as we say that, a double change now being readied for Oliver Glasner's side. Olarena is going to be one of the players coming off. Just trying to see who that one is coming on. It's number 25, Lucanettu. It's usually a left-sided fullback. Makes sense. Olarena is on a yellow card, of course. He's been walking the tightrope since the second half. The other change as well is going to involve Xaver Schlager, signed in the summer. McAtee off in play to him, and a chance for Forest to get a look at the new man.
Yeah, absolutely. Schlager comes on, the only of the new signings in the squad this afternoon. So on he comes, and as you mentioned, Aina, one of the ones going off, has been booked, so that makes sense. McAtee coming off, yeah, he's had a quiet second half, hasn't he? He was better in the first, but an opportunity for the Tricky Trees, the Forest fans, to see their new man.
Certainly is. He'll be able to inspire Forest to a winning performance. 16 minutes left to go at the City Ground. Still 0-0 between Nottingham Forest and Leeds United in this Premier League season opener. It's Forest who are charging forward again. They've been brought down on the counter-attack as well. That will be a free kick there after Jesus went down under a challenge. I think it was James Justin, the man who would hold him down. Yeah, it's a combination of Justin and Stack, and then Jesus gets his foot caught in the turf. That's what the decision's been given for in the end. Jones isn't going to get his cards out though for Justin. On the end of a few challenges himself. Forest do have a good home record against Leeds United. They've won their last 4 against the West Yorkshire side. Can they make it 5 in the final 15 minutes of this one? Morgan Gibbs-White standing over this set piece. West Ham have got one back against Charlton. It's the Leeds United loanee who scored. Joe Piroux on the score sheet. Gibbs-White with a cross into the box from the free kick. Headed away though by Leeds, picked up by Nets. Back towards Schlager. 2 substitutes combining there. Gibbs-White trying to drive forward, but shown the other way by Aronson. Schlager will now take over. This ball inside. In fact, no, it's not. It's a heavy one, and it's giving it straight to Noah Okafor. Can he drive forward for Leeds? Now he has support to his right, but opts to go to the left. Not sure it was the best idea there from the Swiss international. Ampadu's been done there by Morgan Gibbs-White as well, who runs past him. Stack trying to recover it though for Leeds United. Once again, getting the feeling that Forest are getting back on top in this game. Nets back central again towards Sangare. Now the cross to come in. It's a interesting ball towards the back post. Unfortunately, too much on it from a Forest perspective, and Lucanets can't get on the end of that one. It will be a goal kick.
Yeah, the only thing I can think about that Leeds break and why Okafor went to his left and not to his right was it was already quite tight. It was already quite close. The 2 runners were on to his right hand side, so you might think, yeah, that opens it up for a passing opportunity, but if he runs into the same channels that they're running into, it can all get a little bit confusing and all get a little bit congested. So I can understand him trying to open it up towards that far side. That gives him a chance to swing the ball in, but didn't beat the first man, and Forest on the break aren't able to make anything of it.
Yeah, Trafford sends it long up the pitch. It's off the back of Calvert-Lewin, and Aronson does well to shrug off Sangare there. Plays it wide towards Bogle, who thought about a ball down the line, but Nets has shown him the other way, so he's forced back to Trafford, who needs to be careful there with his touch, and he does really well just to take that away from Chris Wood, who is hunting him down. He's put the ball out of play though inside the Forest half, so a throw in for Glasner's side. Trafford complaining about the pass back to himself there. I think he's got a point as well. It was a hard one for him to deal with. Murillo plays it across the back line over towards Cunha. Now out wide again towards Williams, who's now taking up space on the right side after Aina was brought off for Nets. Back towards Seltz. Ball forward. Biol can't win the header. Sangare trying to find Gibbs-White. Biol slid in and found Ampadu. Now for Bogle. Bogle driving over halfway. Manages to get past Gibbs-White as well. As he played it off of Nets last there, I think he has. That might be a free kick for Leeds. Bogle's gone down in a little bit of pain as a result of it. Lucanets can't believe it, the decision that's gone against him.
Yeah, he's smart there from Bogle, beats the first man, and then I think he's in a decent position where he can do sort of multiple things. He passed it to Aronson, but he's probably also hoping that it takes a deflection and goes out for a throw. He also draws the foul, so yeah, he gets himself into a really smart position there, Jaden Bogle on that right hand side. He's sort of growing into the game. Quite a quiet first hour really. He's finally, I think as the game's sort of stretching out a little bit and players are a little bit more tired, that's allowing him to get forward.
Aronson, the loss of the ball there, pretty needless position as well. Leeds weren't under real pressure from Forest. Aronson's tried to go forward, lost the ball under his feet and then been dispossessed. Forest have now won a free kick as well. Ampadu's come off worse for it. It's just a little bit, it's actually Joe Roden on the end of that one. See that it was Wood. He was tripped by Bogle. Roden came flying in, went over Chris Wood and just caught himself a little bit. Won't need treatment and is back up to his feet. Sean Longstaff is now being readied to come on for Leeds United. There's Chris Wood now up the other end. Wood turns inside towards Jesus. Maybe lining up the shot. So we'll just wait on it for now. Plays it square towards Cunha. Attack building for Nottingham Forest. Williams back again towards Cunha. Cross will come in from deep from the centre back, headed away by Murademovic. Can Aronson get there ahead of Murillo? He can't. Murillo, nice touch behind him just to take Aronson out of it. It's found Sangare. Wide to nets in towards Gibbs White. It's where they want Gibbs White, Nottingham Forest, in those dangerous pockets outside the box. Sangare. It back again towards Murillo. Forest opts in for possession now as Schlager takes over. Back towards Milinkovic. Now cross again towards Cunha. Patient build-up from Oliver Glasner's side. Nearly to the final 10 minutes though of this game at the City Ground, and it's still anyone's to call. Nets. This ball through for Jesus. Again goes back though towards Cunha. Okafor thought about leading the press, and Cunha's gone beyond Okafor as well. Can he get the return pass? He can. He's up towards the edge of the box. Okafor slides in, misses him, but Cunha keeps going. And then Okafor with a real needless foul there. He's given away the free kick. Linesman flagged for it straight away. He's probably going to go into the book as well. Is the Swiss international. He's holding his face as well now, is Cunha, even though it seemed to be challenged from behind. See there, Okafor just leave one on him.
Yeah, it's a really silly, use the word needless there, Josh. It's 100% accurate. Doesn't need to do that. He knows that the ball's about to be played backwards away from goal. I mean, the sliding challenge at first was needless. That was reckless. He gets, I think, lucky that he doesn't catch Cunha there, and then for some reason he's caught him with the second. Maybe that's something that's happened in game. Maybe Cunha said something to him and he's just boiled over a little bit. But you know, in that sort of position, it's a really stupid foul to give away.
Definitely is. And it's given Nottingham Forest a free kick in a fairly dangerous position, really. Schlager and Williams are both standing over this one. Forest loading the penalty area with players. Just the one-man wall for Leeds, as this free kick is going to be taken fairly close towards the corner flag. Will it be the right foot of Williams or the left foot of Schlager? Up go the two arms of the Welsh international. Williams steps up, delivers it into the area as well. Leeds get the initial clearance. It's out towards Gibbs White though, around 30 yards from goal. Chips one to the back post. Forest have got runners. Schlager heads it across goal. It's off the bar in the end. Not sure if Trafford caught that initially. He's definitely caught it on the second attempt, and he balls it out quickly to Rodon. Needs to adapt quick, and he plays it off of Gibbs White, who's put some real heroics in there for Nottingham Forest. Seemed to be injured and still kept doing what he could to stop the counter-attack for Leeds United. We'll see it again. Trafford has a bit of a laugh about it, maybe a bit of a nervous one.
Yeah, I mean, they've hit the post again, they've hit the woodwork again, haven't they? Nottingham Forest, that 3 times now I think they've hit the woodwork, so that the stats maybe don't show the full story of the game, because they've only hit the target twice at Forest, but they've certainly got a lot closer than that on a number of occasions. Just going to see a Leeds change now. You mentioned Longstaff getting ready. On he comes.
Yeah, he's on in place of the American Brendan Aronson. A solid shift from Aronson, who of course put pen to paper on a new 3-year deal recently for Leeds. Sean Longstaff has shown in his time since joining from Newcastle last summer that he's capable of popping up with the odd goal. Line again for Calvert-Lewin to chase, but Milinkovic sends it long, headed into the centre now by Rodon, helped on by Stack as well. Calvert-Lewin in a battle with Murillo, of which the Brazilian wins. He finds his countryman Jesus. Now back towards Williams, just in thinking about a press, so Williams is going to go back now towards Sells before leading the charge for Leeds, but Sells boots it over him. Beale should win that one as Woody's offside. Chested down though by Murillo, and now towards nets. It's into the centre. Beale's got in front of Wood though this time. He's going to take a shove in the back. He won't. He'll play it sideways towards Justin. Murademovic.
Much better from Leeds. I was just going to say, Josh, the pressure there has caused them a problem or two. It's been too easy, I think, in the second half, but that front line, Okafor certainly putting the pressure on Forest to win the ball back.
Yeah, around 7 minutes left to go in this one, and at this point, I said earlier, it is still anyone's to call, and it could quite easily be either of these two sides that ends up taking the points, but I feel at this point in the game the most likely is Nottingham Forest. Leeds have gone quiet again in an attacking sense. It seems to be the home side that are taking it by the scruff of the neck.
Yeah, we saw this a few times last season for Leeds, didn't we? Sort of away games more so than most. Farke's happy to not really be in the game as long as the result goes their way. I think a draw opening game of the season away from home against a new Nottingham Forest team with a new manager and with few new signings. Of course, none of them actually playing today besides Schlager, but Yeah, I think Farke will be happy with a point, and that's sort of the way it's going. You mentioned if anyone's going to score it, you would favour Nottingham Forest to be the one, but at the moment it's still 0-0, and yeah, I can't see Leeds pressing forward much for a goal.
No, it doesn't look that way as Roden puts one long down the line. It's helped up in the air by Murillo, and Calvert-Lewin trying to use his physicality to make it work for Leeds, but Forest have just played through the away side there really nicely. Sangare as well, what a ball through that is for Igor Jesus, and alarm bells are going off now for Leeds. Jesus trying to slip it through for one, but Muraremovic will knock that one back to James Trafford. Sends it long, not his best bit of distribution there, the former Manchester City man, but again from Muraremovic, who's had a pretty solid debut for Leeds.
Yeah, I was just going to say Forest have done really well in that exact position, sort of left back, sort of left central midfield slot. Whenever they look in trouble in that area of the pitch, they've not only got out of danger, but they've played forward, and yeah, a chance hasn't come from it, but they have put Leeds under pressure from there. Good covering from Muraremovic, as you mentioned. Had a chance at the other end as well, didn't he, with the header, which was well saved by the goalkeeper. But yeah, decent league debut for him.
Yeah, speaking of Forest starting to get on top, they've had 80% of the possession in the last 10 minutes, which sort of tells you about the way that this game is going at the moment. The home side looking the most likely, but at the same time, not really forcing too much from James Trafford in the Leeds United goal. In the meantime, in the Championship, Wolves effectively have sealed the points away at Preston North End, 3-0 now to the recently relegated side. But here's Noah Okafor driving up towards the edge of the box now. Okafor goes the other way of his man. Okafor still out towards the byline, tries to cut it back across goal. Forest have not got it clear, it's deflected out towards Ampadu now on the edge of the box. A good run there from the Swiss international. Didn't play too many minutes at the World Cup, maybe did too much in the end. Leeds have still held on to it for now though, as Ampadu drives forward. Roden in space on the right wing, ball into the box, looking for Calvert-Lewin. He'll still take charge, no he won't. Murillo comes flying in and then sends a clearance out of play for a throw-in. Again, out of nowhere there, it seemed like Leeds were almost in. Yeah,
positive, confident play from Okafor on that left-hand side. Maybe just one touch too many. When that delivery does come, it's on his weaker, and it's blocked. It's easily dealt with by Forest. Leeds just putting the pressure on Nottingham Forest, and I think the Tricky Tree's feeling that a little bit. In the end, no real chance has come from it, as Murillo's actually gone down. That's a bit of a nasty one, because there's no one near him, so he's potentially just pulled something.
Yeah, he's back up to his feet though, and jogging it off now, so he should be okay to continue. Ousmane Diamande, of course the centre-back that Forest have also brought in, but not involved today. And Leeds have got a free kick in a really dangerous position. That was a late challenge there by Milenkovic, just caught his man on the edge of the box. Leeds have still got Anton Stack on the pitch as well. As I say that, it's Stack who's actually gone down in the challenge, but this could really be a good one for Leeds.
Yeah, this is a good opportunity. It's a good angle, isn't it? It's a high challenge, you're right, from Milenkovic. It's sort of caught him on the thigh. Not sure if he's been shown a yellow card there by the referee, but it was a late one from Milenkovic. And so when Anton Stack had that free kick earlier that whistled past the post, it was much closer to the touchline. This one's right on the corner of the box. This is a really good location.
It certainly is. Stack scored similar free kicks last season from this sort of range. Can he do it again? Maybe. Seal Leeds United the 3 points on the opening day. We've got about 3 minutes left of normal time. If Leeds were to score here, that would really put it onto Nottingham Forest for the final few moments. Stack is just about ready to take this one. Okafor waiting to his right. Longstaff also on the edge of the box as well. Rob Jones is happy. Stack gets up and strikes it. It might go all the way through, and it's ended up in the back of the net. Matt Sells couldn't keep it out, and Anton Stack is at it again in the Premier League this season. He was fantastic from free kicks in the last campaign, and he scored one on the opening day. It's Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 1.
Yeah, we weren't sure if there was going to be a goal in this one, and if there was, we probably fancied the home side. They've looked the better. Leeds have not really threatened, but in the last couple of minutes they have thrown bodies forward and they have put the Tricky Trees into some tricky situations, and there's none trickier than this opportunity, this position right now, and it's Leeds being in front with just a few minutes to go. Anton Stack from the dead ball situation, you can almost put your house on him. He's always going to be there or thereabouts. Two-man wall, not enough. Over that wall, through that wall, past that goalkeeper, into the back of the net, 1-0.
Yeah, well, Sells gets her hands on it, doesn't it? But it's not enough there. There's such power, and this is struck perfectly from Anton Stack. It's just in the little gap of the wall as they jump up as well. Sells can't get across to it, and Leeds United lead with only a few minutes left to go at the City Ground. Leeds United chasing a win away at Nottingham Forest. First time since the championship days.
Yeah, I think because it sort of goes, it doesn't go through the wall in the sense that they've split and it's gone directly in the middle of them, but it's sort of gone past their heads, hasn't it? And it's really difficult, I think, for Sells to see where it's going to go, because I think he expects it to hit the wall or come over the top of it, because it's sort of gone through. He almost doesn't read it right. Gets a hand to it, but as you say, once it's over and past that wall and he doesn't see it, it's always going to be into the back of the net if it's on target. So yeah, it's a brilliant free kick from Anton Stark, and it's Leeds who are in front. They just need to hang on now.
Yeah, they do, hanging on for what would be a first win at the City Ground since the start of the 2017-18 season. A 2-0 win that time. Can Leeds United get through this one? A minute of normal time left to go. Forest have won themselves a throw-in in line with the 18-yard box. Oliver Glasner, I'm going to see what he's made of for Nottingham Forest. He is readying a change as well to come on. Forest have taken this throw-in on the edge of the box. Schlager with a ball into the area. Trafford comes and claims it. It's an acrobatic dive into the area in the end. Leeds have got a free kick anyway, as I think there was a foul inside the penalty area. Trafford will take the acclaim though from his teammates. He's close to a first clean sheet at Leeds.
Yeah, I think Leeds will be really happy with the signing of Trafford, and I think from the first game they'll be pretty confident that he's their man. He's had a couple of moments where he's maybe not dealt with chances very, very cleanly, but the ultimate thing is he's kept the ball out of the back of the net. His distribution's been safe enough, hasn't it? He hasn't looked shaky. Some of his passes haven't found their mark, but he hasn't put the team under pressure in the same way that Lucas Perry did when he came in last season. So yeah, he's had a good debut. It will be a good debut if it stays this way at least.
Yeah, late goal in the championship. Southampton have taken the lead late on against Stoke City. It's Mabama, who's put the Saints ahead in that one. Meanwhile as well, late drama in the Premier League. Ipswich Town have retaken the lead against Sunderland at Portman Road. It's 2-1 in the final few moments there. Jack Clark, the former Sunderland man as well, who's put them ahead. Former Leeds United man as well, of course. It's just 3 minutes added on at the end of this one at the City Ground. So Nottingham Forest do not have much time at all to try and respond and get themselves a point here against Leeds. They are driving forward now. Gibbs right on the edge of the box. Rodden's missed his challenge. Advantage played for Forest. This might be helped back though, and it is as well. Rob Jones points for the free kick. Rodden too eager with his challenge. Gibbs White going down, and again this is a free kick in a good position.
Yeah, Rodden's been a bit overzealous, hasn't he, in this one. Again, maybe just first game nerves, lack of freshness, lack of match sharpness. He's so good last season. He's been good in pre-season, but he's just been caught out a few times. And you're up against the likes of Morgan Gibbs White and Igor Jesus and Chris Wood. You have to be on it. You have to be 100%. I don't think he quite has been today. As long as this stays out of the back of the net, though, it'll be a good day for him, good day for Leeds. And despite that, so Trafford just getting his wall sorted. Of course, a free kick scored at one end. This is a very different situation, it's a very different position, isn't it? It's more of a shooting opportunity, you would say, than the one that Leeds scored from.
Yeah, it certainly is, and they've got a great player standing over it as well. It's a four-man wall for Leeds as well as one on the floor. Morgan Gibbs White is standing over this one. This might be the last chance of the game. There's been penalties given the games in the Championship. Southampton have a chance to make it 3-1 against Stoke. West Ham have got the chance to level it up against Charlton after being 2-0 down in that game. Murillo is also standing over this for Forest. Is it Gibbs White or is it Murillo? Final minute of added time now. Can Forest salvage a point? It's going to be Gibbs White. It's over the wall, but it's over the bar as well. James Trafford clings on to the upright, thinking there, Gibbs White in that position, ideal for him. Just couldn't find the target though.
Yeah, just tried to clip it, didn't he? He couldn't get it down quickly enough. James Trafford hanging off the crossbars. He sees it sail over the top of his goal. A late change here for Nottingham Forest. It's an attacking one. Is it Callum Owendo, yeah, I think, coming on, but maybe too little too late from Oliver Glasner.
Yeah, certainly does feel that way. There's only 30 seconds left of additional time, and maybe there's a little bit more added on because of the stoppage between that free kick happening. Leeds are going to introduce another debutant though now. In the meantime, Nico Elvedi signed from Borussia Mönchengladbach in the last few days. The centre-back, who's had plenty of times for the Swiss national team, will be coming onto the pitch if there is time. Actually, we're just about to tick over the 3 minutes and the ball is still in play, and Elvedi is waiting on the touchline. Muramovic with a header forward. It's back to Williams though. Needs to be careful because Okafor is right behind him. Stacker's won the ball. Okafor loses it though to Ndoye, but then he's won it back. Sorry, that's off of Jesus. Okafor down the line. Calvert-Lewin now might get a final chance for Leeds. It's not back towards Sells. Calvert-Lewin his best to put the Belgian under pressure, who sends it long, high up into the X, met by Roden, and that will do it for this game. Nico Elvedi not even given the chance to make his debut in the end, but it's 3 points on the opening day for Daniel Farke and Leeds United. Nottingham Forest and the other side couldn't really be separated for most of the game, but a free kick from Anton Stack means that the points are heading to West Yorkshire. It finishes at the City Ground. Nottingham Forest 0, Leeds United 1.
Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun